Yay! Welcome to Chatterbox 27, Basic Reading Comprehension. I'm running out of titles, man. It's coming down to the wire on that, folks. So you can't blame me. I've got Deitwa Kwa with me and me, McStabby Pants. That's who you're stuck with for now, unless some of the people we invite show up. Of course, I didn't like, you know, to be fair, you know, there's really no audience, so I don't know that really is, you know, that big of a deal.
Oh shit! I didn't actually send it to Mama.
No, who'd you send it to?
No, I just didn't actually send it.
Oh, I was watching a Dave Rubin thing just a short time ago, and like he was talking to two guys at like Harvard or something like that in college, and one guy just started going off on this tangent on Charlottesville, and this is not to rehash any of the other stuff. This is just like a real weird fucking, like, this guy's a college professor, really moment. His contention was that, you know, well, Charlottesville, freedom of speech shouldn't cover that kind of stuff, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, it shouldn't. You know, I'm sitting there watching, and he goes on to say, like, it shouldn't, you know, cover people that are like marching and doing stuff like that, and you know, creating hassles for people in public spaces. And I'm like, fucking dummy, that has nothing to do with freedom of speech. That's the right of assembly. It's an entirely different right. It's the same amendment, but the First Amendment covers multiple rights. It's just like,
how can you not consider marching or gathering together? How can you not consider that part of free speech, dude? That's fucking ridiculous.
Well, it's not freedom of speech. It's not. It's freedom of assembly. It's the same amendment.
First Amendment, I guess. Sorry.
Yeah, the First Amendment covers freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and the freedom of assembly. I think it also covers the freedom of religion. It covers those four. So those are four separate rights. They're just all under the same amendment.
Oh, under the one amendment, the one handing. Yeah, I guess that's why I consider it all freedom of speech, even if it's not speech.
Yeah, no, I totally get that, but it drove me nuts because he kept talking about how like that, and I'm like, no, it's specifically in the Constitution that you have the right of assembly, and it's so that people can make it clear, like, so the right of assembly and the right to bear arms are both sort of violent rights in a sense. Like, they're both there to, like,
it's an offensive act. It's not necessarily violent in itself, but it's definitely an offensive. Yeah,
it's why I said kind of, because they're not inherently violent in themselves, but they're kind of like essentially meant to convey it.
Right. Yeah, it's an offensive move.
Yeah. Hey, look how many people there are that don't agree with what you're doing, Mr. Government or organization or whatever. And it's specifically to threaten the government. Really, is to say, like, hey, look how many of us don't agree with this. Do you really want to fuck with us? Because then there's the Second Amendment where we could also be carrying guns. So be glad we're not carrying guns yet. Let's get this worked out now. Kind of like it's a more forceful way of being like, of petitioning your government, whether it be a state, city, or federal.
Yeah, dude. I read that thing on the Battle of Athens. By the way, I finally read it yesterday.
Yeah, is that not insane,
crazy, dude? Yeah, that's fucking insane, dude.
For anybody who doesn't know the Battle of Athens, essentially in Athens, Tennessee, I think it is. There was a very corrupt local government that were rigging elections, and the people finally just had enough. And it was, I think, a sheriff and a mayor essentially were the ones responsible.
Yeah.
You read it more recently than I do. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But essentially, the people rose up and took over the place where the votes were kept with guns and explosives.
Right. Yeah, and there's the thing is, it sounds crazy now, but back then, the sheriffs and the deputies and all that actually got bonuses for how many tickets they wrote and how many fucking arrests they made.
Yeah.
They actually got paid like way more. And what set it off was they actually went after the GIs coming back from World War II were getting their mustering out pay, or their release pay, or whatever the fuck it is. So they were going after those guys, the guys that just got back from fighting fucking World War II, and decided it would be a good idea. Yeah, and tried to fucking do that and fuck with them out of all the people, guys that just went through that shit, dude.
Well, and then on top of that, they'd been voted out of office and were trying to lie about it by stealing the votes and taking them to a different place so they could throw away the ones they needed to win.
Yeah, they were fucking remarking the ballots apparently.
Yeah. And so one of the part about it I love the most is essentially the veterans got together, blew the front of the building off with explosives, and seized all the ballots and stuff so that they could be counted publicly and these people could be removed from office.
That's nuts, dude. Yeah, they fucking essentially sieged the jail, which is where they had brought the ballots to. When the fucking assholes, jacked the ballots, they brought them to the jail, and they had a bunch of deputies and shit from like neighboring towns or neighboring whatever counties and even neighboring states, and they were all kind of holed up in there. And the two main fucking corrupt guys managed to sneak out because they had an ambulance come in, and so the veterans were like, okay, we'll let them go, we'll let them because they're the firefight. They're like, oh, they're gonna help people, they're gonna bring out the wounded or whatever, so they're like, don't hold your fire or whatever. And those two corrupt assholes run to the fucking ambulance, and the ambulance takes off, and they get the fuck out of town.
Oh yeah, that was an unfortunate part. But I also like that they had called prior to that. They had called the federal government to ask for help, and the federal government had said, because they've been hearing all these allegations of corruption and stuff. Yeah, but I know it seems like it's more or less working itself out the way it should.
Yeah, fucking assholes.
They were like,
Then we found evidence of corruption, but we're just not going to do anything about it. Yeah.
Well, but they said they basically just turned their back on the whole thing and allowed the people to just do what they needed to do.
Right.
They were like, you're going to destroy this building and take out all the people inside and seize the votes. Yeah, I guess that's cool. We're not going to argue.
Yeah, I fucking love the characters in that story, dude. It's just fucking awesome. Dude, I love the fact that they actually fucking jacked the fucking National Guard armory.
Yeah,
to arm themselves.
Borrowed a few weapons and stuff from the National Guard.
Yeah. And the one dude, the main guy, I think it was the main guy. What's his name? Bill White or something. I forget his name, but he actually, after the fact, was like, it's kind of a miracle none of them died. We weren't trying not to kill them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He was like, that's purely accidental that none of them died.
Oh yeah,
in the sheriff's office.
Well, and it made a very clear point that you don't want to be the one fucking rigging the vote.
Yeah, you get found out, man. People get fucking furious, or at least they used to. I don't know if they still would nowadays, but
I think they would. I just think it'd be so hard to prove it in a way that it would not be like a bipartisan kind of deal.
Right.
It's very obvious that there was a huge amount of voter fraud in Chicago. And you don't hear anything about it because right now the media just doesn't share any sort of right-wing story. That's not really a right-wing or left-wing story. That's really just a story that everybody should be aware of. Like, hey, wait, if this one of our major
this is obviously voter fraud,
then maybe we should be looking at all of our cities and all of our voting and find out what the fraud amount is so that we can stop that, because it's kind of important.
Yeah, it's kind of essential to the fucking system, dude. That our votes count.
That could have been the difference between, one party winning a seat in like the city council or state, or state representative or the mayor. It could have been.
Yeah, make a huge difference, man.
It's not enough of a difference in like the presidential election, but like a lot of times the president isn't the only person on the ballot in those elections.
Right.
So
although you never know, that shit can add up, but maybe it just cancels out on a presidential one.
Well, because we have the electoral college, it does. It tends to sort of nullify a lot of that kind of fraud.
Yeah.
Because you can't. There's so many places you'd have to fix it as well in order to make it so that it didn't Although it could affect it in some of the more swing states.
Yeah,
you have a point there. If it was like Vermont or something, that really could have swung it one way or the other.
Yeah, or Michigan, Pennsylvania, any of those swing states, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point.
Yeah. Plus, have you ever seen, I don't know if I've asked you this before, but have you ever seen that documentary called Hacking Democracy?
Yeah, I've heard about it enough times. I think I've seen parts of it, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I have.
Yeah.
They show how easy it is to hack the machine.
Yeah, even just like the memory cards that hold the votes and shit, like can easily be rewritten. Like it'll keep the same amount of votes, but it'll take like 1,000 from this candidate, give it to this candidate. So it still shows the same amount of votes, but it just swings who the actual vote was for.
Well, which is why we really shouldn't have machine votes. I know it's a real pain in the ass to do like vote counting and stuff like that. But I honestly think people should mark papers and get a copy for themselves to keep if they want. And the government should be required to hold on to a copy of the ballots for up to, like for probably about 2 to 3 years afterwards.
Yeah.
And they should
you should definitely
count it at any time.
You should definitely have something that prints out, like maybe a couple copies, like that print out, and you can keep one that shows who you voted for, make sure it was all right, and then a second one to put in the ballot box. You know what I mean? Make sure that's right, obviously.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's fine to have an electronic voting machine, but you shouldn't have an electronic vote.
Yeah, it should be the backup.
Physical copy.
Yeah, there should be a definitely physical copy to back up the electronic count. That way, if there is some kind of discrepancy or whatever, then you can go back and count those votes. It doesn't have to be automatic that every single one has to count the physical vote, but if there is some kind of controversy or whatever, that should happen. That should be something like those areas.
Do both. I think if I don't have a problem counting the electric vote, but I think you should actually count the physical ballots as well.
Yeah, you think like in every single precinct you should do it?
Yeah, I know it's a pain in the butt. It costs a little extra money, but I mean, in comparison to like a lot of the other shit that goes on that they waste money on, that really isn't a big amount. Or really,
yeah, that's true. I mean, you got volunteers anyway to do that shit.
Well, and you have more chance of accuracy. You can find out like, hey, wait a minute, this and if it's off by like 100 votes or something, well, that's easily, okay, well, that's probably, across like a state, people counted it and they were just off by a little bit.
Yeah,
but if it's off by like 20,000 fucking votes, and you're like, okay, well, somebody's been fucking with the electronics.
Right.
We need to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you got to keep that shit honest, dude. Because
and then whenever there's an imbalance one way or the other, you can easily figure out that there's corruption and know where that corruption is.
Yeah. Actually, I was just thinking about it. I was just talking about the fucking Hacking Democracy where they showed that the system's set up to where you can actually change shit. And then I'm like, no, you don't need to count them in all of them. Like, no, actually, that's a pretty good idea. You should count every single one to back up the electronic vote.
Well, especially because if you do both, that comparison makes it super easy to find out when something weird's going on.
Yeah. You're like, all right, what the fuck happened in this precinct? Who the fuck had access to it? And who the fuck tampered with shit?
Yeah. Did suddenly a bunch of the physical votes go missing?
Right.
Like, hey, wait a minute. We should have had a total of this many votes. And now suddenly we're missing 5,000 in the count? What's going on here?
Yeah. Or something weird like... something weird like 5,000 consecutive votes are for one candidate, or you know what I mean? Like you're going through and like some ridiculous amount of consecutive votes.
I mean, for the same candidate. I could see that in some of the more urban areas where like everybody's a fucking Democrat. Just everybody is, but or some of the Republican controlled areas, the rural areas. But even then, it would still be a little like you might want to kind of wonder about that.
Yeah. Woohoo. What else?
Oh, I fucked with some dummy in a hangout last night. I wasn't in the hangout, I was in the chat, but I was driving him nuts.
Yeah.
He started doing my favorite thing to fuck with people on, and it's promoting like vegetarianism as like more healthy than eating regular food.
Yeah.
And I maintain that you can be healthy as a vegan or a vegetarian just as easily, or not just as easily, but just as healthy as if you eat meat. It just takes a little more being careful. Like, you have to be really aware of what you're eating and make sure you're getting all the right proteins and you're taking the right supplements and stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's perfectly healthy to go either way. It just drives me nuts when you get these people who are like, well, I'm a vegan and you can eat whatever you want, but meat's poison. And I'm like, well, okay, you're contradicting yourself, obviously. You clearly got a goal here. You want people to stop eating meat. You're just trying to come at it like fucking side angle.
Yeah. No, eat whatever, but you better not eat meat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Essentially. It's like, you can eat that if you want, but it'll kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, vegans are some of the most militant motherfuckers. Like, Vegan Gains is like the craziest, probably, but yeah, a lot of them are really almost religious in their fucking fervor for
I
fucking
can
veganism.
Absolutely explain why.
Yeah.
So a lot of what happens, especially with like people like that are go vegan or vegetarian for health reasons, is they just don't have any real self-control, or they just were completely not paying attention to what they ate. And so when they decided to go vegan or vegetarian thinking it would be healthier, suddenly they're looking at everything they eat really closely and paying really close attention to all of it. So the reason their health is improved so much isn't because they're not eating meat. It's because now they're really paying attention to what they put in their body.
Right.
That's what changed. And that's borne out because you see all these propaganda from both sides. But at the end of the day, the statistics, there's no real difference between vegetarian, vegan, and like regular diets in any sort of like diseases.
Right. Yeah, you can be healthy or unhealthy. Probably. Well, it'd probably be harder to be unhealthy being vegan. But
I've seen a bunch of fat vegans. Are you kidding me?
Oh, wow, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, they just eat a lot of like starches and carbohydrates.
Oh, gotcha.
Bread, a lot of potatoes.
Okay.
I've worked in I'm in California, so I see a lot more vegans probably than most other areas. But
yeah, I wonder if they consider the fat one, even the fat ones, consider some themselves really healthy because they're vegan.
They're much healthier. They're much healthier. They're just gonna work out more. That's all.
Okay, that's funny.
It's so funny. It really is. And it's just like there's no magical thing. It's just you got to work out more and you got to eat healthier and watch what you're eating. That's how you get healthier. You just figure out like watch what you're actually putting in.
I've noticed like if I just like kind of watch what I eat a little bit, like it doesn't even take much for me. Like I'm pretty fat still, but it takes very little. All it is like not drinking soda. That helps a lot. And then just like waiting till I'm hungry to eat.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all it takes, dude. And then not stuffing myself and not constantly snacking on shit. It takes very little effort for me to lose weight. When I shouldn't say little effort, very little. It's simple. It's not necessarily easy, but it's simple.
Well, and then the other thing is if you're going to snack, grab a piece of fruit instead of grabbing like a bag of chips. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Problem is my mom and them keep making fucking fudge and shit, and it's so delicious, dude. And I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, at least put it in another fridge or something, dude. Because as soon as I see that shit, I start eating it like crazy.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. I'm in a situation right now where all the food that I have access to is so fucking unhealthy.
Yeah.
And I buy as much of my own food as I can, but I don't really make a lot of money right now. So
that sucks.
Yeah, and it's like I got to get in shape to get that second job so I can get more of my own food. It's like this weird sort of fucking annoying cycle that I'm stuck in.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell it is. Sometimes I have no problem not eating a bunch of fucking gross shit, and then other times I just fucking binge, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Like for me, the one thing that was weird for me is for a long time I would just buy like these big, like 3-pound, 4-pound bags of fucking candy, like the little peppermint patties or like the Reese's peanut butter cups or whatever.
God, I love the peanut butter cups.
On this occasionally throughout the day. I mean, you don't really think you're eating that much of it, but by like, 2 or 3 days later, and you've eaten like 3 pounds of fucking candy. That's
right. Yeah, those little things.
Stop that.
Like, a lot of calories. Yeah. You have to actually. I think that would probably help me. I've never done it, but if I went through and actually added up the calories and what I actually consume, and realize, holy shit, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. And then for me, it was just like realizing, hey, I mean, you know what, like. I'm eating candy like it's a snack that you eat throughout the day instead of like fruits or something,
Yeah, instead of just like one, just a couple few, like as a dessert or something. You eat them as a snack. Yeah.
And so that was really easy for me to just stop eating. But then like there's all this, there's really no like vegetables or fruits around the house on any kind of regular basis for the other meals. So I'm slowly figuring out how to get like cheap stuff that I can eat for like breakfast and lunch that's really healthy.
Yeah, I'm trying to eat like grapes and bananas are relatively inexpensive.
I can do grapes for a lot, but bananas after a certain number of bananas, I can't do it for a while.
Really? Yeah. I have to start doing different shit with them. I have to like have a peanut butter and banana sandwich, or mix it. You never had a peanut butter banana sandwich?
No, never tried that.
Peanut butter and banana go really good together.
I've done cheese, but I've never done banana and peanut butter. I have to give that a shot.
Yeah, no, I love that, man. Yeah, or I'll cut up the bananas and put it in my cereal, that kind of shit.
Oh no, that's delicious. Yeah.
Cheerios.
And you put sugar in that stuff, man. Just with the banana. So
the banana is the sugar, man.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of like apples if I can find the right kind.
Yeah, my son likes apples a lot. I do too, actually. But yeah, bananas and grapes are usually my go-to. He likes lemons. I don't like lemons at all.
I had a buddy of mine that would eat lemons.
Yeah, my son does that shit.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, he's like, you want some? I'm like, no, I don't.
I'll have an orange.
Right. I'm like, I'm glad you like some kind of citrus fruit, but no.
Well, I mean, I used to snack on when I was eating a lot more spicy stuff. I would just buy like those cans of pickled jalapenos and just eat jalapenos and the carrots, because it would always come with little carrots in it for some reason.
All right. Yeah, it has like little pieces of onion and carrot in there.
Yeah, and I would just eat all of that stuff out of the can as like a snack.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever eaten them straight. I love jalapenos, dude.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think I've ever just eaten straight jalapenos.
They're a good level of heat. They're not super, super hot to the point where you can't taste what they're in, but they add a really good kick to whatever you're making.
Yeah. Although the fresh ones, I didn't realize. I remember eating the fresh ones one time, and I'm like, oh shit, these are much hotter than the pickled ones.
Oh yeah, if you're adding jalapeno to a dish and you're gonna cut it up, you could use like 4 or 5 pickled jalapenos to 1 fresh. Easily for the amount of heat you're putting in.
Yeah, I think it was at Five Guys, because Five Guys has like a shitload of ingredients you can pile on there, and I'm like, throw some jalapenos on there, not realizing that they use fresh jalapenos.
Oh yeah.
It was fantastic. It tasted fucking amazing.
Well, also, did they add the seeds? Because that could make a big difference too. A lot of
the seeds were in there, dude. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, and again, it tasted amazing, but it was, I got a pretty high tolerance for the spicy foods just from eating it constantly. But no, it was too much. It was fucking killing me. Although it did not stop me from finishing the burger.
No, of course not. You're not a pussy, right? I mean, come on.
Turn my man card in.
I used to eat stuff that was so hot that my face would turn bright red and then go pale white, and I'd be like sweating.
Yeah.
And I'd have my nose running and stuff, and I finally was just like, I'm not tasting anything but the heat. It's just an endorphin rush.
Right. Yeah, that was my whole thing. Was I'm like, if it doesn't taste good, like, what's the point? I remember going into early on when I met my ex's family, and they're all Mexican. I was eating her tata's hot chili, salsa or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was fucking hot as fuck, and it was burning pretty good. But I was like, dude, this tastes so goddamn good. So, I kept eating it and eating it. And then her tata was like, it's like, look at this. My fucking own sons won't eat this shit, and this fucking white boy's eating it. Because nobody else would eat his fucking his chili, and nobody else would eat his salsa.
Salsa because it's too hot. Yeah.
Because every time he would always say, "No, it's not hot." It was always fucking hot as shit.
Yeah, I would always lean towards curries. I like curry a lot, so I would go places where they'd serve curry, and they'd be like, "Oh, how hot do you want?" I'm like, "Hot."
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you sure? Because it's like, you're the white boy. You're not, depending on what kind of curry you're getting, you're not Asian or Indian or whatever. Man, every time they'd be surprised, they'd serve me like a real hot curry, thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna have to take it back," and they'd be like, "Oh, you actually ate it. All right, I guess."
Good for you, white boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not big. I'm haven't had a lot of curry, dude. I don't even know what it tastes like, to be honest with you.
Well, so essentially, curry is just a mixture of seasonings, and it's generally like, everybody would have their own curry. Like, so if you go to like India, like every mom or grandma or whatever probably has like a curry, and that's her own specific blend of seasonings.
Oh, gotcha.
It's just a stew. But the difference between their stew and like American stew, like American stews tend to have like a broth or a stock, and then you thicken it with like flour or cornstarch. Those are the two general thickeners we use. Their thickener is they cook everything in either yogurt or coconut milk, depending on where you're getting the curry. Yogurt is generally more of like from like India, and coconut milk is generally more from like Asian areas. But but generally like either one. And that's how they get the thickness for their stew, is they stew it in like a yogurt or a coconut milk. And their yogurt is different from ours in a lot of ways. Like it doesn't break as easily, so you don't get that gritty thing. Like if you cook cheese too hot, it turns gritty. Yogurt is the same way, but their yogurt has a much higher break point, so they can cook it a little hotter without it going gritty on you.
Oh, gotcha.
And it has a much more mild taste. It's not as sour cream, like zingy sort of plain yogurt taste.
Yeah, I'll have to try that. I've never tried. I don't think I've like ever been to like an Indian food restaurant, dude.
If you can find one that really does Indian food, it's pretty darn good. You're going to get a different sort of seasoning set of seasonings.
It's going to be different than what I'm used to. Yeah. Okay.
And sometimes they'll put things like pineapple in with it and stuff to sort of like counterbalance all the savory. That would be a little sweet. Something in there that's sweet.
Gotcha.
But you even get like dessert curries. Some of the curries are just like strictly like, they'll make like banana curries, which are just sort of mashed up banana and coconut milk and sugar with some like cinnamon and like, some various other seasonings to make it sort of like a dessert thing that you just put in like little flatbreads and kind of thing. It's like eating a crepe essentially.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I don't know why I've never, because I'm usually interested in cuisine, like from anywhere.
Yeah.
And I've never tried Indian food.
I live right next to a junior college. Like there's a junior college in my town that you can go to that's fairly big and fairly high end. Not high end is inexpensive, but high end is in they offer a lot of really cool stuff.
Right.
I went in and for like a few months I just took like these little 1 week cooking courses. Because you would pay like $20 for the course and like $20 for materials, and you could go and spend like a weekend, 8 hours on a Saturday, 8 hours on a Sunday learning to cook stuff. So I went and took like a Thai cooking course and like an Indian food cooking course and I did a vegan cooking course for anybody who thinks I'm shitting on vegans too much. I know how to cook some vegan dishes that I like, and I don't, I'm not anything against veganism. I just hate you can't eat. But that's how I learned how to do all the curries and kind of got into them.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I have anything like that here. Probably not in my town, but up in Phoenix, I'm sure there's got to be places that do that shit.
It's especially cool if it's like a thing where it's like literally like a weekend. Because generally you learn how to cook 3 or 4 recipes at most. So it's not overwhelming. And you get to have like a really nice lunch.
Right.
And it's kind of fun if you're hanging out with people that are cool. I stopped doing it because there was this like fucked up, kind of retarded, mentally ill chick that they just kept putting in every group that I was in because I was one of the few people that could tolerate her.
Oh, Jesus.
And I just was like, I'm not gonna pay for this shit and then show up and deal with this bitch every goddamn
time. And then end up babysitting her. Yeah, understood, dude. Yeah.
I'm sure she's a great person. It's not in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, it's just the fact that they would, they're kind of pawning her off on you. Like, here, you keep an eye on her.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, like, no, you're not paying. Like, I paid to take this class. I didn't pay to babysit people.
Well, I mean, and she would just fuck things up and ignore the teacher and then, like, basically screw up whatever you were trying to do and then not listen to anybody. And it was just like...
Yeah, it's like, who the hell's letting her in, dude? Yeah.
Like, after the first time she took the course, you should have been like, she's not welcome back.
Mm-hmm.
She's not capable.
It's California. You got to be inclusive for everybody, dude. Even if they're fucking shit up. Yeah.
Okay, so this is one of my pet peeves, and I know people are going to hate me for this. But a lot of the grocery stores around here now are hiring people who are, like, mentally retarded to, like, bag groceries. And so many of them are so bad at it, and nobody teaches them how to do it right.
Right.
So I can't stand it. I always try to bag my own groceries because I don't want fucking cans of soup on top of my fucking loaf of bread.
Right. Yeah, it's like, it seems like, yeah.
It's like a great idea. It's cool. It's something they're capable of doing. Fucking teach them when they're doing it wrong instead of just being like, well, we can't do that. That would be rude.
Right. Can't tell them they're doing it wrong. That's insensitive.
You're like, hey, you know what? If you put the soup on top of my bread, it's going to crush my bread, and I'd really appreciate it if you put it in a separate bag.
Yeah, it seems like it wouldn't take much. I mean, I know it takes them, generally, obviously, a while to catch on, but it seems like they would catch on if you just fucking kept showing them.
They don't train them.
Yeah. It's kind of that's what I'm saying. It's actually kind of demeaning.
Yeah,
they're fucking. They want to. Yeah, well, but then you're like assuming they're too stupid to learn anything at all. Like that, they're not teaching them, dude.
Well, in a lot of cases, they'll be doing it through like a program or a nonprofit organization, so they won't have to pay them a full wage. Which is also demeaning as fuck.
Yeah, that is fucking horrible, dude.
They're going out and collecting like grocery carts and sweeping the floors, mopping. They're doing all the job just the same as everybody else that goes in and does it. That's not mentally retarded, and they're not getting trained properly, so they're not really learning or getting anything useful out of it. They're not getting paid fairly, so they're not getting anything to benefit them for like the demeaning like shit they're putting up with.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, man.
It's turned it into a clusterfuck.
Yeah, they fucking couch it in this. Look how nice we are. Look how progressive we are. But then they're really, again, just paying them shit. So they're fucking treating them like shit. Really, not like mean to them. But it's fucked up to assume that they're incapable of learning, and that's that kind of condescending fucking bullshit that's so fucking prevalent nowadays, dude.
Here's a good one. So my brother had a lot of behavioral problems. Like in grade school, he tried to choke somebody with their own fucking hoodie strings. So he wasn't allowed to go to regular school. They expelled him after that, and he got into once he got out of school and got his I don't think it was a diploma. I think he got a GED, which is essentially the same thing.
Right.
And he got into one of these programs because of the behavioral issues. And so a lot of the people he worked with were not, because he's not retarded at all. He's just like an asshole.
He has anger issues.
He has anger issues, and he likes to think he's right and not be willing to, discuss things a lot of times. So that doesn't help him out in a lot of jobs.
Right, and being unwilling to compromise is not the greatest trait of an employee.
He's a security guard now, and he does great because you don't have to compromise. Right. You're the security guard. They're either breaking the rules or the law, or they're not. You're actually better off not compromising with them.
Right. But that's good. You found a niche, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. He just
Yeah. No, I can identify with that, dude.
Getting along with people is not the strongest.
No, I had pretty serious anger issues when I was younger, dude. Yeah. Like I would end up my friends and end up fucking pelting my friends with fucking wooden blocks and shit. Like, you know, the building blocks, the wooden building blocks.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I would end up fucking pelting my friends with them from point blank range, dude, over nothing, dude.
Oh, good plan. That always makes for happy friendship.
Right. Yeah, and it would. I really couldn't remember what the fuck set me off. Like, luckily, at some point, pretty early on, I can't remember who the fuck it was. Probably it had to be one of my parents. Was like, you know, you keep going with this, you know, you're gonna end up in jail. And pretty much since then, like, I fucking kind of clicked. Like, holy shit, I really am. Dude.
That's a pretty fucking prison.
Yeah, but it was true, dude. Like, if I would have kept going the way I was going, I was gonna end up in prison for fucking hurting somebody or killing somebody. So basically, since then, like, I just started working on my anger. And it took fucking years and years and years, but it finally got to the point where, you know, it's still my first reaction. My first instinct is always, at this point, it just is going to always be wanting to lash out and fuck shit up.
Yeah.
But I've gotten to the point where I can dismiss that almost immediately. You know, instead of holding on to that anger and fucking being pissed off and fucking actually fucking shit up.
And letting control you. You're controlling it as opposed to it controlling you, which is the big difference.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, no, that's not going to work. You know, dismiss it immediately and then fucking actually get to the heart of what the fuck's going on instead of just being pissed off about whatever.
Oh, I'd say my brother's about halfway on that path.
Mm.
He still flips his shit over really tiny stuff. Like, he had this coffee cup that you can't put through the dishwasher, but he bought it so long ago and almost never uses it. So I just didn't remember, and it ran through the dishwasher. And he was just all upset, and like I'm like, well, I'm sorry, man, I forgot, dude. And he just started going off, and it's like, all right, well, I'm not gonna fucking crawl on my hands and knees and you know, pull my hair to fucking apologize. I already apologized.
Yeah, like I forgot. I acknowledged it and said I was sorry. And this was not an act of aggression. Like, I didn't deliberately wash it to fuck with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the cup wasn't messed up or anything. It was fine.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was even messed up. It's like, all right, well, look, man, no harm actually occurred and no harm was intended. So you're kind of losing your shit way over the top.
Right. I assume you realized that later on, not necessarily in that moment.
Oh, no, I mean, he started swearing about how everybody treats him like shit and stalked off really angry. So he's like, but there was a point in time when he would have been like punching the wall and stuff. So, I mean, if he's come halfway, you know, he's about halfway.
Yeah. No, I got a friend that's like that too, man. Like, he still somehow has this vision of the world is out to fucking screw him over and everything's unfair. Yeah. But when we were younger, holy shit, if you said anything that was even remotely wrong, he'd be like, what you mean by that? You know, and fucking go after you for fucking some innocuous shit you said, dude.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
So, like,
man.
At least he doesn't do that anymore, but he really believes, you know, everything's out to get him and everything's unfair and poor me.
It is, man. Everything is out to get him. Didn't he know that? We're all gunning for him.
Yeah, that's how
he's listening right now. I just want him to know it is a conspiracy. We are looking to screw your life up, man.
Yes, that's how important you are, buddy.
Yeah. And anybody else who thinks that? Anybody else under that particular set of delusions? We're after you too. Just so you know.
Yeah, it actually is true. Yeah. Just because you're paranoid don't mean they're not after you, man.
Now, we're not in charge. We're just, we're just doing our job.
Yeah,
you gotta go to the guy in charge.
We're just the foot soldiers in the gang stalker war.
Yeah, it's Ronald McDonald who really runs everything. Like, you think he's a fake clown, but that dude's real as fuck and real scary.
He's running shit, man. Him and Colonel Sanders, dude, are running shit.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck with Colonel Sanders. He's like he's the muscle, man. He'll take you out.
God damn. And in fact, whoever happens to be listening to this, I want you to know this, the rest of us are actually just automatons. None of us are real. You're the only person in existence that's real. We're all just here to respond and, God wants to see how you'll react to shit.
Yeah, it's just, you know, as if the people that listen to our show weren't fucked up enough already.
Right.
Let's really drive that point home.
Yeah, this is just all chatter from mindless drones. It's essentially The Sims, but you're real.
Yeah,
all the rest of us are fake. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh god. Oh, I found this article, and this is pretty fucking funny. Just like from a bizarre level. And this is, I believe, the UK. This isn't
Oh my god. Holy shit.
The school George attends. So this is about Prince George. I don't know who Prince George is. I assume he's from the royal family in the UK.
Good bet.
But Thomas's Battersea School, which is some sort of upper crust one, bans kids from having best friends.
Wow.
In order to protect their feelings.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I just want to know how they think that works. You realize they're not at school all day 24/7. Like, what do you... How do you think that's going to work?
Yeah. So is it like you're once they leave the school grounds, like, okay, now you're my best friend again?
Yeah, you just can't say anything about it at school.
Right. Don't say nothing to no one, man. Say nothing to no one.
Yeah, everybody's going to know who's best friends with who, man. That's not, like, how delusional that they think they can put a stop to it. Oh, my freaking arc is still going. What?
What happened?
Oh, Steam is still fucking... There we go.
Yeah.
I closed out Steam because I don't like to run anything else on doing streams. Like, I just want to have, like, the internet, you know, browsing window and the stream so that it won't, you know, fuck with the bandwidth.
Right.
And then it's fucking Steam just starts popping up little things telling me people are playing games. I'm like, what the
heck? Enough, fuckers.
Oh, it's spreading beyond European schools and it's coming to American schools.
Jesus. This is so fucking ridiculous, dude. Like, people's feelings need to be fucking hurt occasionally. People need to learn how to fucking deal with shit.
Literally, this part right here. And I fucking highlight everything in the thing. Critics, however, say the approach robs kids of the chance to form valuable coping skills by grappling with mild social exclusion when they're young. Kids will emerge as more capable, resilient adults, is what they're saying, which is exactly what you're saying. Yeah, they need to get their feelings hurt occasionally and learn to fucking deal with it. Yeah.
It's so fucking... this is going to destroy culture, man. I'm sorry. Like, it's going to destroy civilization if they keep this shit up.
That's the goal.
Right.
This is obviously the goal. Like, this kind of stuff is the sort of communist type stuff, not socialist, more like communist type stuff.
Yeah.
Where the goal is to break any sort of bond other than the bond to the state.
Right.
And they just want to take any sort of culture or, you know, rational decision making away from people. Because essentially,
it's like subversion couched in like kindness and tolerance, dude.
Well, I don't know if you've ever watched Firefly.
No, I heard it's really good, and being a nerd, I probably should love it, but I haven't watched it.
There was a movie that was basically made because Firefly ended so abruptly and everybody wanted it back so much that they actually got a funding together to make a movie. Right. And in the movie, they had these sort of like crazy zombie characters that were like over the top, that were just like they would kill and mutilate themselves, uncontrollably violent. And it turned out that it was a result of a government experiment of this gas that they would release, thinking that they could make people better.
Wow.
So the gas was supposed to make people less violent and more compliant and just want to, like, you know, go to their job, fucking get a wife and kids, instead of wanting to be independent, they would want to be dependent upon the government, and basically the government would have more power and they would be less resistant. And no one would know because it was a secret drug they were putting in the air.
Right.
And that's essentially what the problem with like communism and social justice warriors and stuff is. They think they can make people better. And that's just not true.
Right.
You can improve yourself. You can't make someone else better.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much all you can do is like you can help other people out, but you cannot make them do. Yeah, yeah. It's well, being in recovery, you learn you learn that lesson, pretty early on.
Like growing up with an alcoholic father, you learn that lesson.
Right. Yeah, it's basically like you can't, no matter what you do, you can't keep someone sober. You can help them stay sober, but you cannot keep them sober by yourself. You can help them, and that's it.
Yeah, that's what you learn when you're the kid, and like your dad or your mom is an addict. It has nothing to do with you.
Right.
For a long time, you kind of blame yourself as a kid, and you're like, oh man, if only I could do this out of the other thing, maybe it would help. Then at the end of the day, eventually you figure out, like, hey man, this is just nothing to do with me. And I got no control of the situation, so I can't invest myself emotionally in that situation in a healthy way.
Right. Yeah, that's rough, man. I don't know. That's
Well, I learned I learned in like high school. So I mean,
well, at least you learned that. It sucks that you had to go through that, man. But jeez, yeah, at least you learned it. Except these people don't. They're like, no, I can change the world, and everybody, as long as everybody just acts like me, I'm going to force them to all act like me, and the world will be great.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's part of part of my issue with the way the mental health system works in California as well right now. Is if they have these unrealistic expectations of what is a healthy person psychologically. Like, see how I put this. So like they go into one of these programs, they learn to get up at like, they got to get up at like 7 o'clock in the morning and go to bed at like 10 o'clock at night. And, there's no individualism for like the people learning to like cope with mental illness. And it's like, for some of those people, being up all night and sleep all day is that they're better capable of doing that's what they're capable of.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't understand. They don't. The normal people, I guess, don't understand that. I can't grasp that concept. Right?
Yeah, it's like they got to be like school kids. Essentially, it reduces them to children, and they have to fit this really specific mold that, in a lot of cases, really has nothing to do with being able to be independent.
Yeah, it's essentially keeping them busy all day, so they fucking can't think about shit or fucking whatever.
Yeah, it infantilizes them in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it was the issue I had with my first rehab. Is they did that shit. They kept you going all fucking day, dude.
Yeah. Groups all day long, because then you can't think about the drugs, man.
Yeah.
We're not going to actually help you deal with the addiction or like, stop wanting to do the drugs, or at least control your wanting to do the drugs. We're just going to keep you so busy you won't think about it.
Yeah, and although I mean they did a lot of good shit too, but yeah, that was like, dude, you got to give us some breaks, man. Although you know what, I was thinking about it. After you're there for a few weeks, because it was a 6-week program. After you're there for like at least, I don't know, around 3 weeks or so, you got moved over to these apartments. Like during the day you were at the center or whatever, but at night, like after 5 o'clock, you're at the apartments or whatever. So it wasn't that bad. Like as soon as you got over to that point, it actually wasn't that bad, because you can actually take a nap if you needed to, or just hang out if you wanted to.
It was like there was like a front load of like, we're gonna keep you as busy as we can for the first couple of weeks, so maybe you won't have to just deal with cravings all the time.
It could be. Although it did get kind of infuriating, because like I was constantly tired. Like I think they were doing it on purpose also for that reason, like to keep you kind of fucking dazed a little bit.
It's possible.
I could be wrong.
Break you down, build you back up. That's a pretty common practice in a lot of situations.
Yeah. So it could be, because like I said, after that, basically once we'd eat at like 5 o'clock, once you're over to the apartments, basically for the rest of the day, all you had to do was you're going to go to a meeting somewhere, and that was it for the rest of the day. But if you were still back on the main place, they had like 4 more activities over the next 4 or 5 hours, and very little free time.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you said, it could be that thing of kind of breaking it down, building you back up, and then giving you a little freedom. Because they would take us out to it was kind of a lockdown facility, man. It was, I mean, you could leave obviously if you wanted to, but for the most part, yeah, exactly. Like you didn't have, nobody had access to any vehicles or that kind of shit. But they would at least take you, like, once you're in the apartments, you could at least go to the grocery store and shit like that. They'd take us to the grocery store once a week or whatever. Yeah, you could finally drink caffeinated coffee. That one bugged me too. They would not let you drink any coffee with caffeine for the first. Weird. Yeah, I thought that was fucking bizarre. Like, you're literally having fucking people smuggle the other people in caffeine, dude.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You know what I mean? Like, I was like, dude, fucking, this is driving me nuts, dude. I'm constantly no energy. And fucking, like, the next day, the dude's like, here, and fucking gives me a bunch of fucking instant coffee grounds, dude. Like, this is sad, dude. Like, is caffeine really that bad?
I don't know, man. I don't miss it, but I don't begrudge people it either.
Nah. See, and it doesn't really affect me. I actually just like coffee. Like, the sugar in that affects me, but caffeine really doesn't. Like, I don't get jittery or whatever the fuck people are talking about. I don't get any kind of amp from caffeine.
I really don't get that because I don't drink caffeine very often now. Like, I generally don't drink anything with caffeine, but I will occasionally have, like, a soda. Like, maybe once a week or so. And so, like, it does make me a little jittery, but that's because I'm not having it on a regular basis, so my body's just not ready.
Yeah. No, but for me, like, people talk, the way they talk about it, I don't respond whatever way they respond. It's weird. Because, like, I'd get somebody a coffee or something.
A little more awake. That was all I ever got out of it.
Yeah, see, I didn't even get that. Like,
you didn't even get that?
Sugar, yeah, I never felt any real difference. Like, I just enjoyed drinking coffee. Sugar helps. Like, I noticed if I drank something that was, like, sugar-free, but that had caffeine, it didn't do anything for me. But if it was something with sugar and caffeine, sugar is essentially what helped me. Because especially, like, coming out of the second rehab when I was off of everything, I was constantly falling asleep, like, during the day at work and shit. I was constantly nodding off and shit for like 8 or 9 months, dude.
Yeah.
So I would almost all the time. I was, like, on my break, and we have 15-minute breaks and lunch or whatever. On my break, I would run to the convenience store and get a couple of fucking Monsters or whatever, and then do the same thing at lunch and do the same thing at the last break. I was drinking like 8 energy things a day, dude. Yeah. But again, I noticed, like, if I took the ones that were sugar free, it didn't do shit for me.
Yeah.
But I also noticed that with the diet pills, like, taking, like, the prescription diet pills, which are essentially speed.
Yeah. Those are essentially meth.
Yeah. Like, I remember taking that, and for one thing, I had no problem eating, and then for another thing, like, I noticed.
The diet pills aren't going to make you eat less. They're just going to make your fucking, because their speed, they're just going to turn your fucking, what do you call that? Damn it. Metabolism up. They're just going to crank your metabolism because you're on meth.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought it was supposed to make you not. Well, I thought it was actually help suppress the.
No, that's their claim. Gotcha. The reality is, like, it's just going to crank your fucking metabolism up because you're on meth. It's just a different form of meth.
Right, just a legalized. But yeah, I also noticed that I actually sat through a movie on TV where they actually had commercials. I actually sat through and didn't change it when the commercials came on, and that's literally never happened before or since. Like, anytime a commercial comes on, I'm changing the channel and see what else is on.
ADD, essentially, because usually people with ADD, when they do things like meth, it does the opposite effect. It just helps them to concentrate.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah, I've heard that. So I've never been officially diagnosed with it, but considering shit like that, it probably is what's going on.
Snowflake. I mean, I had a friend who had ADD that had like the essentially pill form of pharmaceutical speed to help him concentrate on stuff. And then he would, of course, balance it out by smoking a lot of weed. But yeah, well, and now he's a she, and she went to Berkeley and turned into this crazed psycho trans activist.
Oh, wow.
And like, I tried to maintain the friendship, and this is way before I even understood what the SJWs or social justice warrior stuff was all about. Yeah, I tried to maintain the friendship, but she just, too fucking weird, man.
Yeah, too out there,
too aggressive.
Yeah,
like, why are you
it's like, what you want to be, man, but yeah, you don't have to be in everyone's face about it.
Like literally, like I went to go down and visit her at Berkeley. She's like, "Why do you still want to hang out with me?" And I'm like, "Well,
wow,
I kind of don't, because that's a weird question that friends don't generally ask each other."
Right?
It's just a weird thing to say.
Yeah,
we're cool. And I was like, "Cause you're the same person. Like, I don't give a fuck about what clothes you wear, or like what your genitals are. That's not why I was hanging out with you in the first place." How weird would it be if you don't? If you want to change all that stuff, if I was suddenly like, oh yeah, all these things that I didn't hang out with you for in the first place, I can't hang out with you now because of.
Yeah, that'd be pretty shitty. But they're like almost, it sounds like they're almost disappointed that you still wanted to hang out with them.
Oh no, and there was a whole room full of people. Like I think she was trying to like see if she could stick all her friends on me, and like, I was the white male, because this is, like I said before, I think about all this. Yeah, and there were all these people in the room, and they all sat there, and it's like you could feel this palpable sort of like hostility in the room after the question. Right. And when they answered it, they were all like, nobody knew what to say.
Like, oh shit, that's pretty goddamn reasonable.
Well, because usually when people answer that question, they're like, but you're the same person. Like, who you are as a person is what matters. Why would I care what you are? And then they're like, they can go off on you on that.
Right.
But when you don't word it the right way, like the way I worded it, like, why would all the stuff that didn't matter to me before matter now? Which is essentially saying the same fucking thing.
Right.
They just don't know how to respond.
Like, oh shit.
I guess that's all right. Literally one, I guess that's all right.
Wow.
Well, kudos, I'm glad I passed your test. I don't really care if you agree or not.
Yeah, it turns out you're now an insufferable prick, regardless of your genitals, and I'm not going to hang out with you anymore.
Well, yeah, she does like a podcast and goes off on all this stuff where these imagined slights or assaults and shit. It's just
the terminally offended.
So sad. Yeah. Well, like if somebody's rude, then they're like assaulting her, and it's like, come on.
Yeah.
I can't hang out with you.
Yeah, the whole fucking words is violence type shit, or fucking slights or assaults. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
I was assaulted at the bar. No, somebody didn't like you.
Right. Turns out you're kind of a prick.
Yeah.
People are gonna call you on it.
Well, and the funny thing is, she still fucks her girlfriend.
Wow.
I'm not
so
sure.
Riley is the Riley Dennis kind of thing.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how female she really is.
Right. It sounds like a Riley Dennis type.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Riley Dennis, dude. Come on with it. It's Riley Dennis, right?
No, she's Asian. I'm not going to go too much further. I don't want to give out any personal.
No, I know. I was fucking with you, dude.
She's like the Asian Riley Dennis.
The Asian version of Riley Dennis.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure she watches that avidly. I wouldn't be all surprised.
Yeah. I'm sure she watches that queer kid stuff. And
well, and the thing is, she was such a creative person. Such an interesting and creative person who made like videos and movies and stuff like that, like short movies and stuff that were phenomenal. I mean, there was a class project I helped some people film that she was working with, doing the filming for, just because she was into filming.
Right.
And we all made this short film, and it was the funniest 15-minute thing on the planet. It was so funny.
Yeah.
And it was, a big portion of that was her input. And that just all disappeared, man. It's all just it's all went into this shitty SJW stuff that's just not very entertaining.
Yeah, it's amazing how the fucking ideology seems to suck the fun and creativity out of shit, dude.
Yeah. Well, like you said, they're tearing apart the culture. They're destroying the things that make people interesting. They're taking that away from people.
Yeah, they want everyone to be fucking drones and just follow the fucking whatever we want you to think.
We don't want you to be a person and think for yourself and be and who you are shouldn't be a who. You should just be a what.
Yeah.
Your personality can't start and stop with your race and your gender. That's fucking absurd.
Right.
Also kind of sad too.
Yeah. Well, did you see what happened? Where was the place where the person got shot and people were freaking out? Georgia Tech, right? Georgia Tech?
Yeah. I don't remember where it was, but yeah, that person had a fucking
had a knife, dude,
tool with a knife on it.
Yeah, and apparently,
at the cop. It's like, of course they're gonna shoot.
Yeah, yelling at him to shoot him, dude, or her, or whatever you want to phrase it as.
Suicide by cop is what we used to call that. We didn't riot and fucking burn shit down because somebody fucking killed themselves by basically making the cop be a weapon.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking obvious if you're holding a weapon, and apparently that person is, they were the one that called the cops, right?
Yeah,
I think pretty sure that's what happened.
That's pretty standard. So it was suicide by cop. They'll call the cops, and then they'll slowly either immediately put the cops in a place where they have to shoot them, or they'll over the period of like a longer period of time put them in a position where they have to shoot them.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes them more to work up the courage because they want to die either way. Sometimes it takes them longer to work up the commit.
Yeah, and apparently, because everyone was like, no, this was just the cops, because this person would never do this. Like, you don't know what anybody would never do.
The cops are not mind readers. They're not a fucking crystal ball.
Yeah.
They don't have a crystal ball on their fucking tool belt. They can pop out.
Yeah.
Oh, no, this is a good person.
Yeah, like, oh, this person just wants to, wants me to kill him. Like, yeah, you have no idea. And then fucking, if you assume that and you're wrong, you get your fucking throat slit.
Yeah, with the knives, it's the 21-foot rule. If they get within 20 feet of you, they call it the 21-foot rule because it's more memorable. Right. But if somebody gets within 20 feet of you with a knife and you haven't got your gun drawn, they win.
Mm-hmm.
You could, if you're within 20 foot of a person who has a gun in their holster, you can get to them and stab them to death before they can get their gun.
Before they can pull it out. Yeah.
So, and it's most of the time there are a few very exceptional people who can get the gun out quicker, but not many.
Yeah. You think about how 20 feet is not that far. If someone suddenly, out of the blue without warning starts rushing at you, you don't have much time at all, dude.
Exactly.
At the most.
Yeah.
And that's just to get the gun out. That's not even fucking aiming it or anything, dude.
Yeah. Exactly. And if you don't aim it enough in the center mass, they might still get you even if you can pull it out.
Yeah.
Unlike the movies, you don't shoot somebody and then they're done.
Right.
In a lot of cases, people still run, still do whatever they were doing before. They just keep going because they're already in that crazy adrenaline state, so they're not even really feeling the gunshot because there's so much, so many.
So much adrenaline going.
Yeah, adrenaline pumping, and then so much more endorphins and adrenaline from the massive amount of damage.
Yeah.
The brain
crazy how much it
pumps in endorphins and a lot more adrenaline, and then it just doesn't work out well.
Yeah, I don't know when this fucking started happening. When people start assuming that anytime the cops shoot somebody, it has to be unwarranted.
It's the fucking news. They keep saying, "Oh, well, this is suspicious shooting," and it's like, but it's not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
We even put that fucker in the car who's like, "Oh, I have a gun," and then just reaches his hand in his fucking pants.
Right.
As the cops clearly saying, "Do not reach for the gun. Do not reach for the gun," and then shoot.
Yeah, keep your hands where I can see them. Yeah. It's insane how much that happens. You're like, you know what? Sometimes, in fact, most of the time, I would say a vast majority of the time, the people getting shot are not innocent people that were not doing anything wrong.
Yeah,
that fucking happens. Don't get me wrong. That cops do. Some cops have done some fucked up shit.
The video is really clear. This dude was running away. He was unarmed, and this cop just casually pulls his gun out and shoots him in the back.
Yeah, was that the one that was like in a park? Yeah, they were filming like from across the street, right? And then like a park or something.
blatant and cold-blooded murder, and that officer should be tried and executed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't.
So when it happens, this is what happens when you start fighting all of it. You know what I mean? It gets to the point where now we're assuming you're just crying wolf, and some really fucking heinous shit is going to get through the cracks. But when it happens, when it's fucking wrong, we will prosecute.
I think in Boston they got it wrong with the guy that was in the back of the van that died. I think they beat the hell out of the guy. They did not secure him properly. I think they'd intended to injure that man, and unfortunately he died. And in my mind, that's murder.
Yeah.
They may be a questioning tactic they use on a regular basis, but in my opinion, that's blatant murder. And they should have been found. But, I can't.
Yeah, why would you, like, I mean, it's fucked up to beat on them or whatever anyway, but to not do that and replace it with taking a ride down a bumpy road without having them secured, dude, if they fucking die, you're a fucking murderer, dude.
You're in a metal box. It's not like there's anywhere you can bounce that's not extremely dangerous. It's not like you're in a room with a carpet where if you fall on the carpet, it's a little bit of padding. It's everywhere you hit is. There's no give.
It's fucking jagged metal, dude. Yeah.
So for them to not have realized how dangerous that was is bullshit. They knew exactly how dangerous that was. And even if they did, it doesn't fucking matter. They knew they shouldn't have been doing it in the first place.
Yeah, it's definitely not in the book of procedure. Yeah. I would hope not anyway. Take them down a fucking bumpy road and let them bounce around in a metal box for a while.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, it makes me think of something my dad was talking about, this Russia investigation shit. They're going to indict Mueller, or Mueller's going to indict somebody. I forget who it is, but he was trying to tell me, and then everybody's going to come running to see what if they're going to be charged. And I'm like, yeah, if they're fucking dumb. You don't tell the cops shit. You don't want to go to jail. Don't fucking talk to them. Unless you're the one that called the cops. Yeah, if they're questioning you, don't volunteer any information. You're not really required to answer any of their questions.
Right.
You may want to, especially if you're not really involved, you're just a witness or something. You should be honest. But man, if they're like, if they're coming at you like, hey, we're gonna, what did you do? Don't answer anything. Just wait for your lawyer. 9 times out of 10, that'll be the difference between you going to jail and not. Cooperate in every other way.
You decide to run your mouth.
Cuff you. Don't fight that. Go to jail willingly. Just get your lawyer as soon as you can, and you'll be out the door much quicker, and you'll be much less likely to end up in jail.
Right. Dumbasses talking.
Well, if you've ever watched,
dude, I had a thing. I don't know if you had seen this, but there was a website. I guess it's called the Root website, which is generally a fucking, white men are the evil, white privilege type of one. But the statement apparently they made was, straight black men are the white people of black people.
Oh, yeah, I saw something about that on Twitter. I didn't see anything further than that, but just that one statement.
Yeah. Dude, which I think is perfect illustration of the fact that placation is never going to be enough. And no matter how much you give on any of this shit, it's never going to be enough. They're going to keep coming after you and coming after you. Leftists will not stop.
PewDiePie made a really good apology, and they're still fucking holding his feet on the fire. Don't ever apologize. Yeah. Never apologize. Ever. If it's something where, you said something somebody didn't agree with, never apologize over it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're talking with your friend, that's one thing. But if you're, in the public arena, never, ever apologize.
Yeah. No, it's fucking pointless, dude. Yeah, because they're just going to fucking... It's like jumping in the ocean and just, chumming up the waters right around where you're swimming and not expecting the sharks to fucking eat you alive, dude.
Yeah, literally like pouring fish guts on you and jumping in a shark tank, like that.
Yeah.
Don't do that shit.
They smell blood. They're going to fucking tear you apart. Like, what?
Yeah, even
That's
if
weakness.
Attack. Even if what you did was supposedly wrong, never apologize. I'm a big fan of that.
It's literally it's literally pointless to do it, and in fact, not even just pointless. It is not in your best interest, dude.
Yeah,
it is just a bad idea.
I don't understand why people haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah, it's getting there, I guess, but.
Well, I mean, we're still in the middle of the moral panic, so I mean, it's got to peter off before.
Right. I figure before it's replaced by the next moral panic.
I figure 5 or 10 years, and then it'll start to break, and then it'll start to reverse and stuff, and eventually, like, it'll be like, you're too PC, fuck you.
Right.
You know,
yeah. Look, all the fucking people that are still trying to be PC are going to be torn apart by the fucking authoritarians of the non-PC police.
Yeah. Well, and the really unfortunate part is that 90% of this is just being pushed by like news media, just blatantly lying about so much on the air.
Right. Yeah, although at least that's finally turning. Like, I think they're finally realizing that it's just not going to work.
Well, it's still working. I mean, we're still getting riots, and like Antifa is not being put down the way they should, because they're like a violent gang. They should be being, the police should be breaking them up and arresting them every time they show up.
Yeah. Although they did finally get to Berkeley, Ben Shapiro to fucking speak at Berkeley.
Yes, $600,000 in security. They had to spend.
That's ridiculous, dude. Yeah.
So
did Shapiro's guys have to say that and spend that, or is that just what this cost the city?
The school had to spend it. The school had to spend it.
Yeah.
It wasn't even,
Fuck that. They should make the fucking the mayor pay that shit, dude.
Well, the problem is, the problem with Berkeley is the mayor is part of Antifa, essentially.
Right. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
I don't know why that's never been called into. I really want to see some lawsuits around things like Berkeley and one where the person got run over. We talked about earlier, Charlottesville, and all the different places where the riots were allowed, and essentially the mayor, called off the police, and allowed Antifa.
Well, no, they are in Charlottesville. The family of the girl who died is filing lawsuits against them.
I want to see both sides do it, though. I want to see our side getting into litigation, because all these places allowing Antifa to just attack people, like that's a break of the.
It's a huge problem.
Civil trust, yeah, it needs to be. Needs to be stopped.
Yeah. Well, it does seem like the tide is turning, but you're right. It's still fucking pretty bad.
Yeah, and especially when the police deliberately trap the people between them and Antifa. Which is not just in Charlottesville, but it's happened in Berkeley and all these other places. The first Battle of Berkeley. So there was a riot in Berkeley, then there was the Battle of Berkeley, and now there's Shapiro's speech. So the Battle of Berkeley, the one in the middle there, where Antifa got routed, the whole thing was the police literally disarmed everybody who went to the freedom of speech rally, waited for Antifa to show up, and then left. And then refused to intervene. And just attack all these people, and it's so far beyond illegal. Like it's a complete breach
they're basically
of public trust.
Yeah, they're essentially complicit in whatever the fuck happens at that point, and that's why I think they're going to lose the shit for the girl's family that's suing, dude.
Oh, and also in Berkeley, the people that live in Berkeley are absolutely pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the regular citizens who live in Berkeley who have nothing to do with the college, that's just where they live. All of them are like, you can't do that. You have to have the police stop these violent thugs.
Yeah. I'm amazed it took this long. Like, what the fuck, man?
Oh, they've been doing it for a long time. The Antifa's real bad. Like, they're not just harassing people when there's free rallies. They're harassing people all the time, every day.
That's fucking ridiculous. And the
mayor, because the mayor is essentially a member of Antifa, just allows all of it.
Yeah, it tells the cops to be hands off. I wouldn't be surprised
if the mayor is not the mayor this time, once the next election goes.
All right. Hey, we finally got somebody watching. Stenchever's in the chat.
Stenchever.
Welcome, Stenchever. You missed the greatest audio and podcast history, dude. You got to go back and watch it later. It's always when nobody's watching that the greatest things ever.
Oh, you need to be drunk for this. No, Stench Ever, you need to be drunk for this revelation, sir. Let me share this. ISIS asks followers to attack hurricane relief centers in Miami and Houston.
Jesus Christ, dude. What is wrong with people?
Yeah, it wants anybody in the United States who's a member of ISIS to attack the hurricane relief centers in Houston and Miami.
Wow.
And nobody's surprised.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, although, again, leftists are fucking, saying shit like, good, I hope they all die. They voted for fucking Trump.
Yeah.
So, which is worse? I think they're both equally, shall we say, deplorable.
Yeah, deplorable. Well, I mean, it's so gross, man. I don't wish like violence and death on anybody. It's like Antifa. I want the police to arrest them and put them in jail.
Yeah, I want them to not be able to continue doing what they've been doing.
And I will admit to a little bit of satisfaction when they go up and start a fight and then get beat up because they started a fight with somebody who's way stronger than them.
Right, which is almost everybody.
I'd much rather they not get to that point. I'd much rather that when they start the violence, they get arrested and put in jail.
Right.
I'd like to see
dude, did you? Sorry. Really quick, did you see the fucking the video of the dude in Seattle that was wearing like the Nazi armband that got punched? Yeah.
I don't agree with the guy punching him, but like I can't imagine why he thought it would be a great plan to dress like a Nazi and actually walk around.
Well, did you watch the video? Did you actually see the video of it?
I've only seen the punch. I didn't see the rest of it.
Does it not seem a little staged to you?
It kind of does.
I kind of, because that punch looked kind of pulled, and the guy goes down and he's completely knocked out.
Prince of Queens was on a live stream and they were showing that video, and he claimed he could see a tooth falling out of the guy.
Oh yeah, I was listening to the cunt stream, right? Yeah. Prince of Queens is a lunatic, dude. I didn't see it. I saw the cursor, dude.
Yeah, I didn't see the fucking. I just had to throw it out there just for the sake.
But if that was, then yeah. But I really, because they're fucking. First of all, the whole thing started off with people tweeting about it, and then fucking the punch looks a little fake because the guy's just holding up his arm or holding up his hand, and the guy throws like a quick punch, and the guy like spins around and falls down and is knocked out from one punch. It can happen. But it just didn't look like enough to do it.
Well, there's also another thing. Most of the time when people get knocked out, they snore.
Mm.
I don't know if that's common knowledge or not. That probably isn't. But when someone usually gets knocked out violently, they usually end up
start snoring.
Snoring sound when they're breathing.
Plus the fact that when the guy allegedly woke up from being knocked out, he refused to give any information to the cops. A little fishy to me too, that he refused to say anything about the incident.
Oh, you're right. That might be a fucking false flag kind of thing, trying to make people feel better about punching Nazis. Like, not only should you punch Nazis, look how easy it is, and they don't even tell the cops on you.
Yeah, and the lead up when it was like, he was talking shit to all these black people and all that. Like, why didn't you film that? Why is there no evidence of that? Like, if this guy that's tweeting out about this guy with the fucking Nazi armband didn't bother to film him accosting people.
He didn't really have the skinhead cut. His Nazi costume was not real great either. Usually their Nazi costumes are better, the skinheads and the neo-Nazis.
Yeah. Wasn't it essentially just like a black leather jacket with a fucking Nazi?
I didn't think he had a black leather jacket. I think it was just the Nazi thing.
Yeah. Well, he had some kind of black shirt or something on, dude.
He might have had a black shirt or a sweater, but I don't think it was a leather jacket.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't. I can't even remember that much. But apparently, like, people are pointing out, like, no, if you're a neo-Nazi, it should be on your left arm. Like, it would never be on your right arm.
Yeah, well, he didn't have the right haircut, and he kind of looked like a fucking pussy.
Yeah, he looked like somebody who would be on the other side, to be honest with you. That would be an Antifa or something like that. That's why the whole thing... That's why the whole thing just seems staged to me. I'm like, this is fishy, dude. Like,
so
maybe it's
people
real.
Just want attention. They just want to like get a fucking meme out there, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened plenty of times. How many people have fucking? How many
Jewish chicks claimed to get stabbed by Antifa because of his haircut.
Oh yeah.
Stabbed himself just to get the attention, you know.
Yeah, I hate seeing that because it's almost always the other side, the Antifa/leftist side that does the fake bullshit.
People that do that stuff are lunatics anyway. So like, if this dude is, if this like the guy that punched the Nazi and the Nazi were, you know, all friends or whatever, they're lunatics as it is. Because
and his name was Bigot Basher or some stupid shit like that.
Oh really?
Yeah, his name was like Bigot Basher or something like that, dude.
That's fucking funny. The guy, the black
dude. Yeah, the guy, whoever took the pictures apparently and was tweeting about it. His name was like it was something like that, Bigot Basher or something.
That fucking movie. What was the one where they're like, it was like an alternate historical fiction kind of thing. The guys that were going after Hitler.
Inglourious Bastards.
Or the Jew Bear.
Oh, okay, yeah, Inglourious Bastards. Yeah,
Jew Bear or Bear Jew or whatever it was, where he was like, for a guy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the name.
That was the one they're all afraid of. No, not him. We've heard of him.
And he wasn't even like that big of a guy. That's the best part.
Right. He's just a guy with a bat. It was in decent shape.
Oh man,
that was it.
Oh, that is so bizarre. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was just some people that wanted to be famous.
Yeah.
You know, or
and wanted to make fucking
agenda, but probably they just wanted attention. You know,
like, hey, we gotta do something to well, for one, be famous, and also we gotta make Nazis look bad because it's hard nowadays to make Nazis look bad.
Well, everybody's
so fucking ridiculous, dude.
It gets me. It's like everybody's a Nazi. It's like anytime you don't agree with whatever, you're a Nazi. It's like I don't understand what the fuck that is.
Yeah, it's really watering down what a Nazi is, and kind of like, oh, those guys are Nazis? Well, that's not too bad then. I guess Nazis weren't that bad.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, the Nazis died several years ago. They're fucking gone. They
have been right. They have been done as a political organization since like 1945-ish.
Yeah, if there are any Nazis left alive, they're in their fucking 90s, and they're not out on the streets doing anything except eating tapioca and fucking drooling.
Right. You know? Or well, other than the Hitler clones down in Argentina or Brazil or Antarctica.
Oh yeah,
you got to watch out for them.
Yeah, the people,
the huge Nazi base in Antarctica. You got to be careful there.
Well, the people you're seeing on the streets are just LARPers who are pretending to be Nazis because they're intolerant.
Right.
You know, or they think it's cool. It's usually like, you know, they're genuinely racist, or it's a way to be like a rebel kind of thing.
Yeah, almost wanting to shock people with your fucking craziness.
Yeah. Pushing the limits of seeing how far you can push that societal acceptance limit.
Mm-hmm. Let the fucking dude walk around. But yeah, I don't know. The whole thing just seemed really staged. And like seriously, okay, so you filmed the punch, but you didn't film him allegedly accosting and talking shit to the black people or whoever else. That wasn't worthy of being filmed.
Yeah.
You know. It just seems, and again, it may all be legit. It just doesn't seem like it to me.
Yeah, what is it? 40 Mike says, yeah, real Nazis should be offended.
Like, hey, you're making us look like pussies. You're making us look like.
I was going to say, not to say that like white supremacist groups that call themselves like neo-Nazis aren't real. They're not Nazis.
Yeah. They're idiots. And also, they're a very small segment of the population.
Yeah, well, they're not National Socialists, so they're really dumb. And
yeah, that's the thing.
Generally, don't even understand.
There's very few intelligent, well-read Nazi white supremacists or whatever. Like, if you ever gone onto the sites, and not none, but there's very few, like, they're fucking idiots, dude. Like, they're really fucking dumb people. You know, like they can't spell, they can't fucking really put a fucking coherent thought together on a page. Yeah.
Mike says tiny penises as well.
Tiny penises. Yeah.
Their
Where
penises,
you been, Mike? It's just what?
Their dicks are like their mustaches, just almost non-existent.
God damn. They're little fucking toothbrush dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mike, when did you become too good to come onto the show?
Oh no, you're
talking about how much you love Muslims and you know how much you love Muslims and all that, and still no 4D Mike, dude.
Yeah, we keep trying.
Right, we're trying the Towley method, and it doesn't seem to be working.
I wonder if that's why we don't get any other guests on. Oh, since his life fell apart. Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
You'll have to come on and talk to us about that sometime, man.
Right. Yeah, shit. Okay. But yeah, and all seriousness, man. I hope shit's turning up for you.
At some point, it has to turn around, you know.
Yeah. Eventually, there'll be a rock bottom. Don't you worry.
That's so comforting.
Eventually, it'll get to the point where it just can't get worse, and then everything will be getting better.
Now you done fucked up. Now you've cursed it, and it can get worse.
Yeah. Oh Jesus! I'm knocking on wood like crazy, dude. Yeah.
Damn, $30,000.
Yeah. But the taxes.
Then you
Let's make sure we make everything as
as
negative as possible. Yeah, get away from your fucking crazy family members that are kicking you out and shit.
Man, get out of that state. Run. You're gonna want to move to like Arkansas or like Georgia. Because $30,000, you could easily buy a good-sized house in some of those areas for like $5-10.
Yeah,
$5-10 grand to get a good-sized house in like Georgia or like Arizona, or not Arizona.
Yeah, dollar goes a long way. Arkansas, yeah.
Arkansas, Georgia,
Alabama.
I could see Mike getting along well in Alabama. He's white enough.
Right. Just as long as you can say "Roll Tide," you're all right, or whatever the Auburn fans say, depending on where you're at.
Sooner or later, you can come on the show and talk about everything and make it entertaining at least.
Mm. Yeah, if you want to, you don't have to. Money buys glue.
Oh, Alabama Man, I forgot about that. It's an old cartoon.
Alabama Man. Yeah. Have you seen that? Wait, you don't watch South Park, do you?
No. I've watched a few.
Yeah. Well, they did one of those as a fucking fake commercial for Alabama Man, like him smacking his wife and fucking going bowling.
Yeah, no, I've seen Alabama Man.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought that Alabama Man was a reference to something else because you don't watch South Park.
No. I do. It's like part of a cartoon. Because South Park is technically a cartoon. I think it's just construction paper cartoon.
Yeah, it's pretty basic animation shit.
Well, it goes to show you, man, like the entertaining shit doesn't have to be, $1 million production, which is why YouTube, has so much of an audience compared to like cable television at this point. Mm. I mean, you're talking people like Kimmel and all the other late night hosts getting 2-3 million views per episode. That's nothing to a lot of YouTubers.
Yeah.
It's a lot of views. Don't get me wrong. There's a whole lot of people on YouTube that are getting more than that, and they're just fucking talking into a fucking camera. They don't have that whole crew. There's no audio. There's no guests. There's no audience. It's just them and a fucking webcam on top of their fucking monitor.
Yeah, destroying you fucking late night assholes.
Yeah, and they're just shoving as many marshmallows in their mouth as they can fit.
Oh fuck! Yeah, did you watch Styx's video? Sticks covers that really well.
I watched Sticks.
Yesterday or today.
What I'll do with Sticks is Sticks, Hex, and Hammer for the audience. Sticks, Hex, and Hammer 666 is one of the best political pundits out there. His commentary on politics is extremely unbiased, especially in comparison to a lot of the news right now. Even though he has bias, he'll present the information in a fair and unbiased fashion.
Right.
And what I'll do with him is I'll wait for like a few weeks, and then I'll just catch it all up. A few days, like 4 or 5 days, and then I'll just catch it all up because he puts out so many videos.
Like he really does, dude. Yeah. Although he got me thinking today, because he did a video about what you're talking about, how like no YouTuber would fucking jump to cable or even broadcast TV. Like, why would they? So they can be censored and fucking make less money. Like, yeah, it makes no fucking sense. You know. But he also, dude, he got me thinking. Because he has to keep covering Hillary because Hillary keeps being a fucking lunatic. But I was thinking about it, and what has Hillary Clinton ever actually accomplished, dude? Well, like when she was in the Senate, huh?
Well, she made sure that Kim Jong-un would have plenty of nuclear material. She sold a lot of uranium to the Russians. She's responsible for a lot of soldiers' deaths.
Right.
Directly responsible for her own like blatant neglect.
Right.
To do her job. And she's probably responsible for a substantial amount of just fraud in general, because I don't think that the Clinton Foundation is in any way, shape, or form like a real charity.
No, it's pretty obviously a fucking front. They're like, oh, hey, you want to give Bill $1 million for his birthday, Saudi Arabia? Send it through the foundation.
Yeah. Oh, bye, Mike. Have fun, man.
All right. Oh, shit. You're leaving? What did I miss? Okay, Mike. Thanks for stopping by. You stay classy. And thanks for stopping by.
But then I'd say a lot.
But yeah, I was thinking about like even when she was.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I was just gonna say, even when she was like in the Senate, she didn't really introduce any bills or anything of substance. She didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
So she's essentially famous for, one, being born with a vagina, and kind of finding a charismatic guy to glom onto.
Well, and then Obama, just because he wanted the token, put her in a lot of positions of authority that she really didn't earn and wasn't really qualified for.
Right. Yeah, putting her in as Secretary of State, like really, she's not. Yeah, she hadn't done anything, dude.
Where she did fucking really disturbing and
oh yeah. The what she did do, like if you had to add a positive and a negative connotation to any of it, she's well into the red, well into the fucking negative, dude.
Yeah. Well, and like the thing is, it's not about politics. It's not about right wing, left wing politics. I would say the same things about Bush Jr. I mean, he did a lot of really fucked up stuff.
Yes.
Really questionable. And
I fucking hated Bush, dude.
Probably got a lot of people killed.
Mm-hmm.
So
and cared probably about the same amount of level as Hillary, which is not at all.
Exactly. And it's like I'm tired of the it's right wing that's good and it's left wing that's bad and vice versa. It's like no, they're all fucking liars, man.
Yeah, all the politicians pretty much. Yeah, all politicians are pretty much bought and paid for. Yeah, like that's the other thing I kind of forget about is the politicians to really go after, the ones that they do go after as like corporations go after, are the state senators, or you know what I mean? Yeah. Like they're the ones that do influence shit actually a lot more than, or can influence shit a lot more than the actual United States Senate or Congress in general, because they're affecting stuff for their specific state. Congress and that U.S. Congress is just stuff that affects the entire country, and most shit is just local, affecting whatever state you happen to be in.
Well, and then also though, consider the Wolfpack, which I don't know if you know what the Wolfpack is.
Is it Cenk
Uygur's thing? And now the Young Turks is garbage. Cenk Uygur is an asshole. I don't agree with anything he says. However, I agree with one thing he says, just to get money out of politics.
Yeah,
and
yeah, for
they
sure.
are pushing and getting more and more states to sign on for this Congress of the Governors, Convention of the Governors, where they could potentially create an amendment to the Constitution that would oust Citizens United, more or less.
Right.
And take away the corporate buying power where they can just donate with no limits.
Right.
However much money they want to buy votes in the Senate and the representatives and in all the state legislatures as well.
Yeah.
So, and they're slowly making progress. State after state is joining in. There's not that much more to go.
Yeah. No, it's nice. Like I said, Chank's not completely an evil piece of shit, dude. Yeah.
We just don't agree on,
anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I followed them. I followed the Young Turks for a while, man. And I don't know why it took me that long to realize how full of shit they were, but yeah, I was like,
yeah. Well,
yeah, you're right.
They gradually shifted, though. For a long time, they were being pretty honest in a lot of dishonest media, and then they started to get real weird.
Yeah, I think they started becoming beholden to the money, too. Well, they're sponsored by fucking Al Jazeera, dude. Al Jazeera America.
Yeah.
Huh. So now, dude.
Yeah,
which is
really
essentially
creepy.
owned by Qatar, right?
It's owned by who?
Is it maybe not Qatar? It's the UAE. It's basically based out of.
I didn't hear the name.
Qatar.
Qatar.
Q-A-R.
Could be
UAE.
Qatar, you mean?
Qatar. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. It is essentially owned by Qatar. Yeah. No, it's essentially a terrorist organization.
Yeah.
A lot of these so-called Muslim organizations are really just fronts for funneling money through the terrorist organizations or from them.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I think it's essentially as soon as they have them as their fucking sponsor, you're not going to hear anything bad about Muslims for one thing.
And it makes you wonder where a lot of the funding is really coming from. Like, is George Soros the only one funding a lot of the social justice warrior kind of stuff with the Antifa and bussing people around? Because one of the other things that goes on with all these riots that makes it even more despicable is a substantial amount of these people who are in these riots, the most violent ones, are being bussed around from place to place. And I don't know that much about the law, but I'm pretty sure that's a felony.
Yeah.
When you're deliberately busing people to places so that they can commit crimes.
Like, yeah, it seems like there should be some kind of
fucking
some kind of RICO statutes should apply there.
And you're paying them for it? At a certain point, you kind of got to be like, that's a felony.
Yeah, you're like, how are you guys not a gang at this point? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, MS-13, they might as well be like the fucking, knockoff MS-13. They'll be the LGBTQP LMNOP CHAR S13 or something.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not sure what the consonants are.
Yeah, they keep getting added too. They wanted to add the P, but apparently...
I like that they start to get mad about it, and they're like, no, you can't be part of it.
Right.
They infight.
You don't get on there, assholes.
No, you're not part of us. You're your own thing. Go stand over there by yourself and be your own letter group.
Right.
You're intolerant.
Yeah, you need to be nice to the pedosexuals.
Oh, God.
Motherfuckers, dude.
Look, man, if you are afflicted with pedophilia and you don't, not you specifically, obviously, somebody out there is afflicted and they're not touching kids and they're doing whatever they got to do to keep that fucking in check, whatever it is, I don't care.
Right.
But they're not touching kids, then fucking great.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I respect that. But to openly be like, maybe children can fucking consent, like a 4-year-old can consent.
Yeah, that's some sick shit.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah. I think we were talking about it before. It's like, yeah, I understand that fucking obsession. I'm a drug addict. I understand obsession. And it's got to suck to be afflicted with having that attraction, because I don't think anybody would fucking choose to be attracted to kids. It's fucking sick,
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Yeah, but yeah, the ones that actually recognize that it's wrong and don't act on it, You know, that's almost admirable, or it is admirable, really.
I don't want to hang out with them, but
right.
But I'm not mad at them. I'm not be like, yeah, kill them all.
Right. But yeah, the ones that actually think and actually try to fucking pawn off something like the ones who consult, they can totally consent at 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, the ones who probably have acted on it and probably want to and are trying to justify it. Those are the ones I'm like, yeah, maybe we don't need them around.
Right. Yeah, maybe they can fucking, be put in the back of a fucking metal box and taken down a fucking bumpy road.
There you go. Yeah, I got no problem with that. Like, the weird thing is how many people refuse to see any sort of gray areas in that kind of thing. Yeah. I get that it's emotional because the people that do the crimes are so gross and it's such a fucked up crime.
Yeah.
But you gotta have at least some room for people to be like, hey, yeah, I've got the same issue, but I don't fucking do it.
Right. I've never acted on it. Yeah, because again, who the fuck would choose to have?
I don't want you as a high school teacher, but you can be working construction and do your thing. I have no problem.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's just God, it's so despicable though, and they're trying to convince people that kids at that age can consent. And
what is it? The Heart's Progress or something like that?
Progress, yeah.
Heart Progress.
Yeah.
Although I will say this,
sick, dude.
I think the people who go after Heart's Progress and act like they're these incredibly brave, noble individuals for doing it, are fucking dumb.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, it's essentially fucking. It's essentially it's right wing virtue signaling, dude.
Yeah, you look like a jackass. Nobody's surprised that people don't like pedophiles.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. It's good that people are going after and exposing it, but
but the ones are like not everybody's willing to say it, but I don't like pedophiles.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't think that's really that much in question.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Nobody really does. Even the pedophiles themselves, I'm guessing.
I don't know, man. Some of them fucking are sociopathic and just don't care about anybody. So
yeah,
they might like themselves.
Yeah,
just to be an asshole.
Not a lot of fans. Pedophiles don't have a lot of fans out.
Yeah, there's no fan club. This is not not a lot of people are out there going, "Yay!" putting on little cheerleading outfits with their pacifiers.
Yeah, fucking ridiculous. God damn.
I just thought that was so funny because there's all these people who act like they're fucking like these noble warriors.
Yeah. Look how great I am. Yeah. I'm willing to say that pedosexuals are bad. Pedophile. I keep saying
You're so edgy.
Right.
You're so edgy and cool, man. I want to be like you when I grow up.
Yeah. Way to take a stand. Way to go out on a limb there, buddy. You're against that thing that pretty much everybody else is against.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So fucking apparently the Schmeckel, the guy who runs the Cunt Stream, is running low on cash and asking for people to help him out.
Oh really?
Talking about not being able to pay his internet bill. He's like, hey, I'm not going to starve or anything. I'm not losing my house, none of that shit. I just don't want to lose my internet. So if people are willing to, you got a couple extra bucks, I'd love it. But you don't have to feel bad.
Man.
Like I love when people are honest about that shit. I may not necessarily donate, but I love it when people are honest instead of being like, I'm gonna lose my house, my kids are gonna get taken away, and
I'm overly dramatic about it.
I'm starving to death. We're in like every fucking week there's some sort of new tragedy, and you're like, look, nobody's life is that awful for this long, unless your name's 40 Mike, in which case apparently it is.
Right. But at the end of it, you get 30 grand, so that's nice.
That is pretty crazy, man.
Although, yeah, I think we both know who we're talking about. For the well, not it's again, you're not talking about one person, but one person is springing to mind.
There's probably one person that springs into mind, and I'm sure we're both thinking of the same person, but there's multiple people who do it.
Yeah.
Actually,
we definitely have quite a
couple I can think of. I can think of at least 2 or 3 people like that.
Yeah, actually, that's true. I'm trying to think of. Yeah. We're just like, dude, nobody has this much shit hit them constantly and this regularly.
Or at a certain point, get a fucking job.
Right.
You know, like you can find something to do at least part time that would help.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I should have muted that.
Oh, fuck it. Who cares?
Nobody's listening anyway. Fuck it.
Well, I just, at a certain point, we can't put that in more attentive. It is live.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you were talking about Hillary Clinton. I got a little article about the Hillary Clinton person.
Yeah.
Share. Apparently the Washington Post is even like down on Hillary, like, hey, maybe you should shut up.
Right.
You're not helping. So even the Washington Post is calling her out because she's apparently like on like a blame tour where she just blames everyone and shit.
Dude, everybody, Bernie fans, fucking, first it started off with obviously the fucking Trump deplorables or whatever. But yeah, then it started getting into where she's like blaming Bernie fans and then kind of blaming her own fans for not coming out in force or whatever.
Yeah, even though like I'm sure the people who were like showing up at her rallies and stuff went out and voted for her. I would be very surprised. Otherwise, her rallies were incredibly small. She never had rallies.
Yeah. Apparently, they'd have to fucking shoot shit like really close cropped in, so they couldn't fucking tell that the auditorium was fucking empty. And there was only like 10 people that showed up.
Well, and she didn't really campaign. I mean,
yeah, no, that's what. I forget who it was saying it, but yeah, there was a bunch that she canceled. She didn't bother going into like fucking Wisconsin or Michigan, doing anything at all. She just assumed she was going to win, dude. Yeah, she felt entitled to it, and she felt that it was in the fucking bag.
Well, and it's so funny to blame all these people now, and it's like everybody made Trump a laughingstock for running at all, and he won. Because he went out and he fucking he talked to people and he went and campaigned in all of the states and really concentrated on the swing states, but he didn't ignore the Republican-based states.
Right.
He went and did stuff in Texas. Just because Texas is going to vote is more than likely going to vote for him anyway, doesn't mean he shouldn't, campaign.
Yeah, still touch base with him. Yeah. No, Trump's fucking way smarter than fucking people give him credit for, and he's way more calculating than people give him credit for. Like, even his craziness, a lot of it is very fucking calculated.
He spent less than half the money and got way more out of it. Like, he ended up, like, I think 3 or 4 times as many rallies for like half the money.
Right.
And got, so much more coverage.
Yeah.
Especially in swing states. Like a lot of the swing states, he went and visited 5-6 times to her once.
Yeah.
A big difference in the end.
Yeah, and she'd had rallies that she had fucking planned and just fucking canceled. Like in North Carolina, and again, a lot of the swing states, dude, that she ended up fucking losing. She had shit planned and then just never showed up, or ended up canceling way ahead of time. And I don't know if it was arrogance or that was probably part of it. But I think her health is really fucking horrible. And I don't think she could actually do it. I mean, if you saw the shit where she's falling down and fucking wagging her head around all crazy and fucking doing super happy surprise face that fucking balloons going off overhead.
So bad. That was so gross.
Yeah, like how do you watch that and not realize that she's probably lost her fucking mind? Like she's probably gone, dude.
Well, and then a lot of her stuff was warmongering, which was kind of like
yeah, that was the other thing. Like, the way she was talking was like, we're going to be going to war with Russia over this Syria shit that she's saying, dude. You know, like that is by far the most likely outcome of the shit she's talking about.
Yeah. Well, it's the difference in the Syria thing, especially. It's the difference between ethical and moral. The moral thing is to try to encourage independence. The ethical thing is to keep Hassan in power because he's the one that can control all the crazy shit going on and keep ISIS out of power.
Right.
Because that's what serves the interests of our country.
Yeah. But no, she's more interested.
He's a dictator, and yes, he's evil. I don't care.
But it's still a little more stable than
it's not. It's not our job to reshape and change the foundation of countries. Like if it's in the United States' best interest that he remain in power, whether or not that's a good thing doesn't really apply. Because when you're a leader, you have to look at things ethically, not morally.
Right. Yeah, it's got to be a tough fucking line, dude. But yeah, you're right.
Well, when you're looking at international relations, you have to look at ethics as opposed to morals. You can afford to look at moral in your own country, but you have to be ethical when it comes to the other ones.
Right.
So William brings us a little bit of news that may or may not be true. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I just saw it. Yeah.
I guess Jeff Holiday might have DMCA'd a small YouTuber just because he was pissed.
Wow.
I don't know, man. If that's true, that's pretty fucked up. But
permission to speak freely, or do you want to? Would you prefer I do this offline?
I don't care. Say what you want, dude.
Yeah, well, dude, Jeff has kind of been getting more and more arrogant over the last several months. I stopped following him probably 6-7 months ago. The shit with Lacey and then the shit with Teal Deer finished it off. I have not followed him since then, since the fucking whole Teal Deer thing with him.
Did not know about that. I haven't followed Jeff in a while. So
right, yeah. Well, the Teal Deer fucking reamed him, and him and Andy had gone on a live stream about it, and they were basically responding like they didn't hear what Teal Deer just said. Like they were replaying Teal Deer's initial response, and it was pretty obvious that they were too drunk to really comprehend what they were hearing. And they were responding.
I'm not a huge fan of Teal Deer, but his stuff is generally fairly well researched. Like when he's saying something, he's generally got a pretty good point.
Right. Yeah, but basically, Jeff, like Andy basically admitted, like, yeah, Teal Deer kicked our ass, which I don't really like Andy Gorski either. I think he's a fucking clown. But he was at least admitting, like, yeah, we fucked up and he fucking kicked our ass. Jeff kind of said that, but then later statements pretty much illustrated that he didn't really believe that. Like he was like, oh no, Teal Deer was playing 4D chess. And like, no, he really wasn't. He really just fucking, you guys were idiots.
Well, Jeff
and he fucking schooled
you, guy.
Right? Huh?
But he doesn't do a very good job with research.
Yeah. And honestly, what it appears to me, and this is a fucking complete hunch, is he is slipping into alcoholism.
Because, maybe not, but he's definitely.
Well, the reason I say that is the people that I hear talk at meetings and shit. So many of the people that if they had trouble with drugs when they were younger, and then they kind of did away with the drugs, but then they end up becoming alcoholics later on. And it's that kind of arrogance that I see from him is, and it might not be, it might just be the fact that once you get at least 40,000 fans, you start feeling infallible, and it might have nothing to do with alcohol. But I don't think the alcohol is helping.
It's pretty heady that regardless of what you say and how right it is, there's like 40,000 people who can be like, I got your back.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's right around. That's why Jeff is the reason I say it must be right around 40,000 subscribers.
And, people that don't read their comments, people who say like, "Oh, you shouldn't read the comments." Generally, I find are more susceptible to the echo chamber kind of thing because they're not reading people who disagree with them. And maybe somebody disagrees with you and says things in an incredibly rude and incendiary fashion, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't at least look at the idea behind the comment.
Yeah. And if you get into the point where all you're listening to is because again, a vast majority of your fans are not going to be critical of you. They're going to fucking be like, no, you're always right. And, you know, some of your fans are going to be the type that are like, you're not, you're normally good, but you're wrong on this one.
That's half of why I leave troll comments on a lot of videos. Like, I've left some real nasty comments on people's videos because I like to fuck with people.
Right.
Troll.
Yeah. Kind of see where they're at.
Equiest, like, yes men in a lot of cases. So I'll just leave, like, just really rude comments that disagree with what they say.
Right. Like, is it actually what you believe and you're just going over the top, or are you doing it just to fucking get the yes men out there?
I like to mess with people. I love to get people to come back and get angry and stuff. I'm definitely a troll. And I'm not doing it because I need something or anything. I just find it entertaining that people take that seriously. But like I really fucking got this logical lion dude last night, and then the last comment I left was like, thanks for playing my favorite game of Wind Up the Idiot and listen to him spew nonsense. I'm gonna go to work. And I'm like, it's a total dick move, and I'm absolutely aware that it's a dick move. But like,
no, it's kind of fucking perfect. No, that's fucking perfect.
He was getting fucking. He was
furious. Right. Getting very angry. Fucking impotent rage, dude. You're like, holy shit, dude, how do you fucking get that angry over fucking comments?
If you really believe your point of view, you wouldn't be that angry.
Right. Yeah, you would just be like, oh, okay, all right, that seems stupid, but whatever, buddy.
Yeah, it's not. Apparently, there's a Ralph Retort live stream with Jeff Holiday on it where he gets drunk, which goes to your point, which might be the case. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, it's possible. It's just,
dude. I've heard that so many times in meetings. Like, oh yeah, I had trouble with drugs, and Jeff has said he's had trouble with drugs when he was younger, and there's just so many people at meetings that I hear about that. They did away with the drugs when they're earlier, but it took them 10, 15, 20 years of only drinking to realize they were alcoholics.
They were still an addict. It wasn't drugs anymore.
Yeah, and alcohol takes a lot longer generally. Like heroin, opiates, they go sideways on you pretty goddamn quick. Like the life is unmanageable thing happens really fucking fast.
Well, I wonder,
like that, meth, whatever.
Well, I wonder if it's just easier for a lot of people to have a couple drinks when they're going to do like YouTube or live stream or any of that kind of stuff. And then that quickly becomes a lot of drinks.
Yeah. Because him and Andy, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up, being an alcoholic too. Yeah, they get out of control, man, pretty regularly. And I guarantee you there's been live streams that they've been on that they are blackout drunk.
Okay, yeah.
And here's the thing, and this is what I kind of learned in rehab. If you've been blackout drunk more than like 2, maybe 3 times in your entire life, you're almost certainly an alcoholic.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. Because very rarely does a non-alcoholic drink so much and so quickly that they black out and then still continue to keep drinking.
I have maybe 1 or 2 nights where I have just a little bit of spotty memory, but nothing where I've literally blacked out.
Yeah. But yeah,
so I can see that, and I just was like, I got tired of drinking, and for health reasons, I decided to stop. But
yeah, but again, alcoholics don't stop for any fucking reason until outside forces, pretty much.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that kind of. I was saying that kind of makes sense to me because I'm like, yeah, I've never. I mean, it's what do you call it? Because it's just my own personal experience. I pretty much know that.
Yeah, it's the choice you made, or you're probably just not wired to be an alcoholic.
Well, I mean, it's not really evidence. For
your life experience, basically.
There's a really good word for it. I'm going to look it up. It's the evidence.
Paradigm?
That is...
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're going for. Usually I'm pretty good at picking out what word you're looking for, dude, but... I don't know where you're going with this.
Anecdotal.
Oh, okay.
It's an anecdotal evidence because it's just like one person.
All right.
Myself and, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, it still kind of illustrates you're probably not an alcoholic.
No, I'm just saying I was saying it's anecdotal, but it kind of supports what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the reason why they say that is because people that aren't wired or that aren't predisposed or somewhat predisposed to being an alcoholic or an addict are going to stop when they like that should scare the shit out of somebody.
Oh, you know, if you're fucking black, I had no idea what I did the night before, and I just had to go and get people to tell me, I would be really genuinely concerned.
Yeah, yeah, and see, people like me or other addicts, they're like, that's almost a badge of honor that we fucking did that. And that doesn't make any fucking sense to you, right?
It can be a fun story later, but maybe you should stop drinking.
Right. Yeah, but but we don't. Like, we fucking keep going. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I've seen probably both of those two, at least a couple of times where I would bet my life that they were fucking blackout drunk by the end of the thing. So obviously, it's almost certainly happened. And they're, not on live streams as well. So again, I'm not saying anything definitive. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, I like to couch that kind of thing. I agree with you, but I also try not to make too many judgments based on the small amount of time that I see. But
it's just concerning. It's concerning to me, dude.
You're very likely correct in that. I'm just going to say the caveat: we don't know for sure.
Yeah, no, I can't say that. And again, that's the thing with it too, is you can't really. Only the person can say if they're really an alcoholic or not.
Yeah.
And if they are, fucking, I hope they get help, man, before they fuck shit up.
Drunk or not, Jeff is a pretentious twat we get from William Stanchever. Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of Jeff anymore. I liked him when I first saw his stuff because he was dead. Seemed like he was trying to get, people from both sides of the fence to kind of actually talk and have a real dialogue. But
saying, "Look at me." That's fucking good, dude. The previous comment was fucking hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
But no, you know what? Really, I followed him for quite a while, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I agree with this dude like a lot. Like, it's suspicious.
Well, I almost kind of question GMOs. Like, GMOs aren't poisonous to people. Like, we know that, obviously.
Right.
They do destroy soil, and they're not terribly great for the environment in general.
Mm-hmm.
There are downsides to GMOs. They're not like a miracle cure-all for everything. And there's good and bad to them. And he only presents the good, and he doesn't really do enough research to see all the bad.
Yeah. Well, or the bad that he does show is the kind of crackpot fucking people that are completely full of shit on that side, instead of the actual evidence showing that there's negative shit too.
Yeah, or even just like the flavor. So genetically modified stuff like just isn't as good,
right?
Flavor wise, difference between organic and regular, because there really isn't any difference in organic because you're talking about the same variety.
Right.
Varieties of stuff. It's the same kind of strawberry. It's just grown in a slightly different, method.
Right.
Be like hothouse strawberries are not going to be that different from strawberries you grew out in the garden if they're the same variety. But if you have two different varieties, like when you go to a farmer's market and get like an entirely different variety of strawberries because they can't be shipped, they only last for a couple of days.
It's going to be different.
It tastes a world of difference. It's going to be a huge difference in the flavor.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with GMOs. GMOs are not great flavored food, but you're trying to make sure that the crops, grow a large amount of food and don't suffer from disasters where like suddenly you got no grain as much.
Right. Yeah, although even I don't know when they switched. They obviously didn't announce it, but obviously at some point they switched in sodas and shit from using sugar to using, corn syrup or whatever the fuck you use. And now you drink one I got one that's just pure sugar, because now they go back to making ones that are just sugar.
They taste so much better, don't they?
They do, yeah, dude. It tastes way fucking better. And my son doesn't want to drink anything else now.
Yeah, Mexican soda. If you get Mexican sodas, they don't allow corn syrup in the soda in Mexico. It has to be sugar.
Wow.
And they taste so much better, man.
Yeah. Although Mexico doesn't put nearly as much sugar in stuff as we do. I don't think any country does, dude.
No, yeah. The 7-Up is the best. If you get Mexican 7-Up, that stuff is fucking great. Like Mexican Coke is good, but Mexican 7-Up is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But then I'm like that weird guy who prefers like root beer and ginger ale and fucking cream soda.
Sarsaparilla. You like a good sarsaparilla?
Oh, good sarsaparilla. Mm.
Yeah.
If
actually the Ace hardware store sells fucking sarsaparilla for some reason.
Yeah.
Every time I go in there, I have to get one, dude.
I'll tell you, if I'm gonna have a dessert, like, because I try to limit like dessert to like once or twice a week. Mm. So if I'm gonna indulge in something, it's like a root beer float or a cream soda float. That's where it's at, man. With some real good vanilla ice cream, like really high quality.
Yeah.
And a real good.
You guys have Tillamook where you're at?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only gotten that. I don't know how long you've had it, but it's only been here for like maybe a year. But goddamn, that shit's fucking good.
I just bought because we're doing chili tonight. And it's chili from a can, so it's not like the best, but whatever. And I bought a big block of Tillamook sharp cheddar just so we can grate that up for the chili.
Yeah. Have you tried the ice cream stuff?
Oh yeah, no, the vanilla is one of my absolute favorites. All of them are good, but like,
I was just making sure.
Vanilla is the absolute best. Yeah, the best vanilla. Like I would not use any other vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, any of them, dude. Like their cookies and cream is far superior than any other one.
I like their.
What are some of the other good ones?
The nuts and the caramel. I want to say it's like pecan caramel something or other.
Yeah, or they have like the raspberry and white chocolate is really fucking good.
All of it.
Yeah, pretty much. Unless it's just something, flavor you don't like, it's fucking fantastic. Yeah, every time it's on sale because it's expensive. It's like $7 a carton for a half gallon or whatever fucking ice cream comes in. But every time it's on sale, man, I fucking buy the shit out of it, dude.
Yeah. William is saying Campbell's chili is not bad, but we got the Denisons for some of the people and Stag chili for the other people.
Yeah, Stag is mostly no beans, isn't it? Or do they have them both? They have both. Right?
You can buy it with both. I like it either way though. Stag is my favorite kind of chili. If you're getting chili from a can. You know what I like? I'll be honest here. Is Wendy's chili is pretty darn good. I'm a fan of Wendy's chili.
Right. Yeah, actually, you know what? I used to get that shit all the time too, man, with the crackers and everything.
It's not bad, man. It's not the best chili in the world, but it's pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's kind of a watery for a chili. It's kind of watery,
it's like
in my opinion. But yeah, but it's really good, man. I really like that. You put a little hot sauce or like Red Devil or Louisiana hot sauce in it. It's fucking fantastic.
I like it with they sell chili cheese fries. That's really good. Or if you get like a baked potato and a bowl of chili, and you just combine the bowl of chili and the baked potato with some cheese on it. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Sonic's is actually not bad. Have you ever eaten Sonic?
No, we don't really. I don't know if we have any Sonics around here.
Oh really?
Let's check. I'm pretty sure we don't.
And their chili's pretty decent. It's more of a processed, like all whipped up, like into a whatever you call it. But it's pretty good, dude. It's not bad. What about Hormel? Is Hormel chili any good? I haven't got chili from a can.
We have Sonics on my street.
I just never noticed. They're all around me, but yeah, and they have a fucking.
This is true.
They do a fucking pretzel bun hot dog. That's fucking fantastic, dude. That's like a foot-long hot dog on a pretzel bun, dude, and you can get chili and cheese on that. It's amazing, dude. I don't want to hype it too much. I really enjoy it. That's all. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I don't know if you've ever had pretzel bread. I'm sure, but the pretzel bread's fantastic.
I've never had the pretzel bread.
So yeah, maybe I shouldn't have you try it. It might be dangerous.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, but seriously, dude, if you get the pretzel bread hot dog, it's fantastic, dude. Doesn't even have to have the chili and cheese, dude. Just the regular pretzel bread hot dog's good.
Where is this supposed Sonic? So it's showing. Okay, so the reason I'm confused is on the map of where Sonic is. It's showing me one in the shopping center down the road from you that I can walk to in 5 minutes. And I've never seen a Sonic in there.
Yeah, Sonic's like a drive-in. Like, that's an old-fashioned drive-in type.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a regular restaurant too.
So I think this is lying to me.
Yeah, it would usually be a standalone thing. It wouldn't really normally be in a strip mall.
Yeah, there's a Carl's Jr. and there's like a little Subway and a pizza place. Yeah, no, that's not that. There can't be one there. Let's see here.
Yeah, I've never seen one that wasn't, you know, a drive-in type place. They might exist, but I've never seen them.
Why will it not go back?
Like, oh no, he's discovered the Sonic secret.
Sorry, I'm obsessed. I got to know if there's a Sonic anywhere.
Yeah, but yeah, you know, if you ever happen across one in your travels, give the pretzel hot dog a try with chili and cheese.
Well, anyone that actually has a hot dog is cool in my book, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of Sonic's got a lot of really good shit. Like their tater tots are really good. They do the chili cheese tater tots or chili cheese fries, all that shit. Yeah. Yeah, they have all kinds of different drinks and shit. Well, I assume you've seen the commercials for Sonic at least, right?
Oh yeah, they got those little like cherry drinks and where you like mix the drink and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Plus, again, really good burgers, patty melts, that kind of shit. Yeah, it's a good restaurant for fast food.
Yeah, I don't see a Sonic. I think that actually they're telling me a lie on this. That's hilarious.
Let's make this guy think there's a Sonic here.
It says there's two in my town, but I've been on both the areas where it says they are, and they're just not there.
Yeah, that's crazy. Try calling them. If they got phone numbers, try calling them.
No, I'm not going to try calling them. There's a certain point at which you got to be like, all right, there's just not a Sonic here.
All right, it just wasn't meant to be.
I'll drive down. I know the one is not true.
Right.
But I get paid in a couple days. I'll go take a look and maybe try to pick up a hot dog. Because I remember I've been to Wiener Schnitzel once when I was on a road trip somewhere. And that was really good. But
yeah,
we don't have any of those anywhere nearby.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I know there's ones in like San Diego. That's probably the last time I've been to a Wiener Schnitzel. They have them up in Phoenix too, but yeah, not a lot of places sell hot dogs. Although Burger King does now, oddly enough. I haven't tried the ones at Burger King though.
I don't know that I want to try that.
Yeah, I don't.
Scary.
Yeah, well, I don't know because I actually like Burger King's burgers and shit.
No, I know. Something about Burger King selling hot dogs just sounds creepy.
It's weird, right? It's something doesn't seem right about it.
You order the burger. If you order the hot dog, do they give you a drink and you get sleepy, and then you find the hot dog in an awkward place later?
Oh, God.
Because they had all those creepy commercials where the king would just pop up out of nowhere, including a baby in your bed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want the hot dog, huh? Here you go. Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about. I don't trust Burger King that much.
Yeah, that fucking guy. You don't know where he's going to pop up.
Makes me feel unsafe.
Sneaky ass king.
Oh, man. Speaking of awkward things, apparently there's a consent video that universities in the U.S. are now making their new students watch.
Wow.
So, like, teaching them about consent and boundaries and all that stuff. And I'm like, that's not really the college's place.
Right.
You're not the ones who determine what is and is not consent. Like, if anybody should be doing that, it should be police.
Yeah. Yeah, the colleges are really overstepping their bounds. Although maybe it's a result of the Title IX shit.
But I don't want colleges deciding what is and isn't morally correct.
Yeah.
That's not what they're for.
That's true.
And to give people the tools to gain more knowledge.
Mm-hmm. I can't imagine how crazy. Have you seen the actual video or?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I can't imagine how fucking cringy it must be. And if you're a virgin watching it, you're probably like, hey, I don't ever want to have sex.
Probably.
You know. Like, it can't possibly be worth this fucking hassle.
Well, exactly. First of all, yeah, but it's consent and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, can you imagine, like, while you're fucking someone, you have to be like, hey, is it still okay that I'm fucking you? Hey, is this still okay? Like, every so often? Like, that's fucking horrible, dude.
It's a sexual consent musical at the University of Indiana.
Oh, my God.
They did that several years ago.
Holy shit. That is fucking so hilariously cringeworthy, dude.
Lyrics of which
musical.
You got to get consent. If you think you're going to do it, you need consent. Consent. Whoa, consent. If you're waiting to go further, you need consent.
Jesus, dude. Oh, seriously, think about it. If you're a fucking virgin and you're watching that, aren't you literally pretty much going like, I don't want to do it. It seems fucking stressful.
Well, and like, there's certain things that are gray areas in real life. Right. You're fucking somebody and they're like, oh, I'm not sure about this. And then you come, like,
right.
Like it's not like, turning a switch off. You're sort of in a sort of instinctual, half animalistic sort of fucking state of mind.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult to stop fucking once you start, dude. Like, if somebody said no while you're fucking them, it's impossible to instantly stop, and it's very difficult to stop overall.
I think that would be honestly, that's a pretty big gray area of like, well, maybe you should have said no before then.
Right. Yeah, no, that would be a tough one, man, because, expecting someone to just stop after they're dude, I mean, I don't know what it's like for a woman, but for a guy, dude.
Either way, I'm not, this isn't, a guy or girl thing. I just think that's not like a reasonable.
Yeah.
A reasonable line in the sand kind of thing to say where like one person says, oh, I can't do this anymore, and you just have to turn it off like a stopwatch.
Yeah. Like, no, he pumped like 2 more times after I said no.
Yeah.
He's going to jail for 15 years. Like, that's fucking ridiculous.
Now we're rapists on it.
Yeah. That'd be fucking horrible.
Yeah, I don't want.
Where's the line?
Intentionally teaching kids what healthy relationships and boundaries are. I feel like it's a place where kids will learn that, but it should be something they're learning incidentally, not intentionally.
Yeah, as a byproduct of just being there. Yeah.
Of being, exposed to all these people with different ideas and different beliefs and different standards, and everybody has to like learn how to like handle this whole new situation together, and then they learn how to form, friendships and relationships outside of the safety of the house or the nest or whatever,
Yeah, I think for the most part, figuring out what a healthy relationship is, what it is, a healthy relationship is something everybody's kind of got to figure out for themselves. Yeah, it's not something you can really be taught, dude.
Yeah, I don't want schools teaching religion either. I don't.
Right.
If you want to send your kid to a private religious school, that's different. But I think public schools really shouldn't be teaching religion.
Yeah. No, they
should just be teaching about the religion, not teaching it as though it's real, but just giving everybody like a grounding on all the.
Yeah, give them the rundown of what it's all about. Yeah. Because I mean, religion is definitely part of the world, so I can understand having to teach about it. But yeah, teaching it as fact or anything like that, obviously not.
Or giving more focus to one or the other. Like a lot of problems right now is a lot of these schools are teaching as though Islam is correct and appropriate, and everybody should kind of consider being Islamic.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, dude.
Really gross and really outside the constitutional acceptability.
That wasn't even acceptable if you were doing it for Christianity. Like, it's not. It shouldn't be acceptable for any of them.
Schools was, we don't want Christianity being taught in schools.
Yeah.
I don't want them teaching everybody that they should be Christian. I don't want them teaching them to be Muslim. I don't want them teaching them to be Jewish.
Right. Yeah, you want to teach about those religions, that's fine, but it should be stuck to the bare minimum, and it should be things that are actually factual and not, Yeah.
It's like it's at the colleges. It's like you're going to teach like the old sort of like this is date rape kind of thing. I can kind of understand, like, don't take advantage of somebody when they're drunk. Don't, this is not cool.
Right,
but
right.
I just don't trust them. At this point, I don't trust them to, stick within, like, reality and legal boundaries. And now
and the thing where if
not real.
Yeah, shit like if you're both drunk, then the guy's a rapist, but the girl's not. That's that kind of shit's fucking ridiculous.
Well, and that's been proven time and time again as these schools get sued, like that's not a reasonable standard.
Yeah.
Legally, that's not a legal standard.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, man.
I feel so bad for these guys.
Because, I'd hate to think of, like, I'm trying to think back. Like, there were plenty of times when I fucked when I was drunk. Well, not plenty, like there's fucking thousands, but there are certainly occasions where I fucked when we were both drunk. And to consider that as fucking rape.
Yeah,
but there's plenty of times when I'm like, hey, you're drunk. I don't know if you're really down for doing this, and where I wouldn't fuck, even though I was drunk and horny as shit. But there, again, also times when I didn't do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, if the girl can't fucking form a coherent sentence and can't really walk, you're crossing a line there. But
right, but no, nothing like that.
Both had a few drinks and you're loose and you're having a good time and everybody's having a good laugh, and you're like, hey, we should totally fucking make this that much better.
Yeah. No, I was never anything where they were like passed out or even close. You know what I mean? Definitely not.
No, I was just saying.
I can't imagine that kind of shit. Like, have you seen the movie Kids, where that one chick's passed out and the dude starts fucking passed out? Casper.
Well, I was pointing that out as like it's fairly obvious where that line is. It's not super hard to tell.
Yeah, like even if they are conscious and they're real sloppy drunk, like even then that's kind of iffy, dude. But that's still. I don't know if that should still be even illegal though at that point. Like, is that really rape if you do?
Well, if both people are like that, I've seen chicks who were more or less, they were pretty sober in comparison, trying to take. Like that chick's trying to take home like pretty good looking dudes from the bar,
right?
Too. So I mean, let's not pretend it only goes one way,
right? Yeah. Although, man, you got to be pretty hideous. Oh no, I guess if you're actually going for like a quality dude, I was gonna say there's really very few women that have problems getting laid if they want to get laid.
Well,
but it's that quality person that gets you want to fuck.
Not great looking girls,
right? Yeah, big, ugly, just not well proportioned, even with weakness.
And it was just like, I'm sure that those dudes probably would not have sex.
Yeah, wouldn't even fucking give them a second look if they weren't way too fucking drunk.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Yeah, but it happens both ways, dude. That's for sure.
And it's really easy to tell the difference.
Yeah. Like they don't necessarily have to be passed out, but you can tell if somebody's too drunk.
Yeah,
to do that. Although that's the problem with if you're going to actually arrest anybody for it, fucking for rape. Obviously it's got to be.
To a certain extent, like, why are you complaining that it worked? You went out and specifically took these drugs that are supposed to make you know exactly what the effects are going to be.
Right. And you want to go out and party.
You went out and did them, and they were effective, and now you're mad?
Yeah.
Your inhibitions were low.
Because you didn't quite hook up with the fucking person that you wanted to, or the quality of person that you wanted to, or something. Or they didn't call you the next day.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, there's got to be some sort of. Well, I think there's different statutes. Like, it's not just rape is rape kind of thing. I think it's sort of like murder, where there's like murder in the first degree, second or third degree, and there's, different levels of punishment for like the different types of murder kind of thing.
Right.
So a lot of the places will call it sexual assault or rape in the first degree, second degree, or third degree. So that's probably how they handle that in most legal systems.
Mm.
It's just colleges don't. That's the problem. The problem is that colleges have
all the same
standard, a different standard, and are denying people their basic constitutional rights. It's like, look, you're receiving money from the government. You can't hold court and ignore the Constitution.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty. Everything's just kind of a mess, man. And it seemed like shit was better like 20 years ago, but maybe it's just me. Well, maybe that's just my imagination.
With the colleges, the best thing is to just dissolve all of the college courts and make them let it go through the legal system.
Yeah, that makes sense, dude. And then, they really shouldn't have no. Like you said, they have no business doing that.
Yeah, restrict their range of actions based on the outcome of the case.
Right.
So if nobody,
let them handle parking tickets and shit like that.
I say take it all away.
Yeah, actually, it wouldn't be so bad. You're right. Yeah,
I think
and then you're right. Yeah, and then they can just react to whatever the fucking official judicial system comes up with.
What other organization do we allow to have its own private law enforcement?
That's true. If we're gonna complain about fucking Sharia courts and shit happening in Dearborn or wherever, having it happen in the colleges is basically the same thing.
Imagine you go to work at like the corporate office for like fucking Subway fucking sandwiches, and then one of your coworkers accuses you of rape, and then suddenly fucking Subway arrests you and fucking decides to put you on trial.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like how ridiculous?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's ridiculous when it's
like if you quit the headquarters
or Notre Dame or no, it's fucking absurd.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
I don't know why when did that happen? It hasn't always been like that, right? I mean, that's a relatively new development, right?
Well, they weren't always so corrupt. But they always use this as a way to sweep stuff under the rug and kind of try to keep it from getting in the public eye.
Oh, gotcha.
But essentially, I say when there's some sort of accusation like rape or assault or anything of that nature, the school should do their best to keep the two separate without punishing either of them until whatever legal issues are dealt with.
Due process should be.
Yeah, so they go to
that's the thing that kind of bugs me about the NFL is how they're fucking punitive right away on these cases without having the courts have their say. You know, Roger Goodell will fucking suspend motherfuckers just for, being involved in something that may not be true.
You
know?
Same thing, yeah.
He doesn't wait for the court system to play out before he suspends people.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
In my opinion, similar kind of thing. You should have to wait for the court to fucking decide.
Yeah. Unless it's obvious, like shit that, and I'm totally talking about the NFL, like there's fucking video footage or something. But colleges definitely shouldn't be doing it, dude. Not criminal cases, dude.
But yeah, I figure if somebody makes a complaint, you bring in the police. They can either follow through with the police, and then that'll go whatever course it goes. And then based on the outcome of that, you can handle expulsions or suspensions. But until you have any sort of court deliberation, you can't do anything.
Yeah, because how many
you have the
times
right
seen
to
already?
be presumed innocent until you are proven guilty, and that would include being, able to go and do your classes at school.
Yeah, how many times have we seen it where it turns out the woman was just fucking jaded and pissed off that the guy didn't call her or didn't want a fucking relationship?
So many fucking it's insane. It's like a fucking they've basically screwed it up for everybody now.
Right, yeah.
Because nobody's going to believe.
Yeah, those fucking women should be tried and get the same punishment that a rapist would get for whatever they charge.
False allegations of rape are illegal, and nobody's putting them charging them. It's ridiculous.
Well, not nobody, but yeah, it's not. It should be happening all the fucking time.
Yeah, anytime.
And it's. I think people try to claim that that's going to prevent women from coming forward that did get raped because they're afraid of being called false. But again, the ones that are false are going to be so fucking obvious Like, there may be one where you can't convict a guy, but, you know, you're pretty sure it happened. There's a big difference between that and false allegation.
In any situation in which there's a preponderance of evidence that proves the guy is innocent, like, it's overwhelmingly obvious. They should be pursuing criminal charges against women, and they probably won't get them all.
Yeah.
Should be.
Yeah, but again, if it's just a case where there's just not enough evidence to fucking convict the guy, that's obviously different. Because again, I think we all still agree that rape is fucking abhorrent, and anybody that does it should be put away, dude.
There will be cases where they couldn't get the guy, but, you know, all evidence is to the, you know, it looks like it's very likely.
Yeah, it appears that.
And obviously, in that case, you're not going to pursue charges, but with, like, Mattress Girl and other stuff, like, well, I mean, take Mattress Girl specifically. They have blatant information for days and days and days that there was nothing even remotely close to rape. And in fact, she was the sexual aggressor, and he had turned her down, and that's why she filed charges.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that she should have been arrested and put on trial and done time.
Yeah, but no, bitch is actually lauded as a fucking hero somehow. Yeah. Even when the truth came out, dude, they ignore it because she carried a mattress around and fucking.
Well, I can't believe his lawsuit wasn't successful. That was insane.
Oh, it wasn't?
The school allowed her to just destroy his reputation for 4 years, and he couldn't. I think his lawsuit failed. Yeah.
Oh wow! I don't see
how. Let me look that up real quick.
Failed. I thought I saw the opposite. I thought he actually won. But again, I may be thinking of another case.
Oh, Columbia settles Mattress Girl lawsuit. I could be wrong. I might have been thinking of a different one.
Yeah, no, what you're saying has definitely happened. But I think that one. Yeah, I thought I saw that they had settled or something. Yeah, okay. Supports graduate accused of. Yeah. Yeah, so they settled, man.
So Paul
Nunn wins a lawsuit. Well, this one says he wins it, but essentially they settled. So I guess he didn't technically win, but.
Well, settlement.
Yeah, this bitch should be fucking ruined, dude, and it's not.
The court threw out Paul Nungesser's anti-male lawsuit. And then Columbia settled with him on criminal charges, or not criminal charges, but Title IX charges were thrown out of court, it looks like. But Columbia State, or the university itself, settled. In other words, they gave in for probably a lesser amount in order to not drag their name through the mud.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
Usually what that means is they're admitting they're wrong, but they're not doing it in as public a forum, essentially. They're like, yeah, we were wrong. Take this money as long as none of us talk about this anymore. So, well, because his reputation is ruined. Wow. It's going to take at least a year before he can get a job. So hopefully he got a few million at least. Because, I mean, it seems like a lot of money, but for like 10 years and your career being essentially ruined for 10 years.
Yeah, you basically have to change your name almost. Like, you know what I mean? You'd almost have to pull a Jeff Gillooly and fucking change your name to, something else.
At that point, that would.
Did anybody understand? Did you understand that reference or no?
No, I didn't, but I assume
he's the guy that fucking capped Nancy Kerrigan's knee so Tanya Harding could get into the Olympics. You remember?
Oh, that guy. Okay. He changed his name?
Yeah, he changed his name to Jeff Stone, from Jeff Gillooly to Jeff Stone.
I would have assumed he changed his name just because his last name is Gillooly.
That's probably enough reason, dude. But yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Like, you'd have to change it from whatever, Nungesser to fucking some guesser. That was a cheap joke.
Go from John, because his name is Paul Nungesser, to like Paul Smith.
Right. Yeah, that's essentially what the other dude, Stone Smith. You know, one of those fairly common and innocuous last names. Yeah.
So it's virtually impossible to even know if you got the Paul Smith that was Paul Nungesser.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Other than, I guess, the fact that he has a good degree from Berkeley or wherever, whatever school that was.
We just talked about Columbia a bunch of times.
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ. I already forgot.
Yeah, but I think he probably should.
Mm-hmm.
Or fucking go out on like a speaking tour at colleges.
Yeah, speak out against this bullshit.
You know, I think he could.
Yeah, because I can't imagine doing that to somebody, dude. I really can't. Being so fucking angry, and so fucking like hurt or whatever because a guy doesn't want to date you, to try to ruin his life like that. Like, I can't imagine anybody doing anything to me that would make me want to do something like that.
I might say some mean things and then move on if I say the mean things at all. Or I might write like a mean letter. Depending on the situation. Like, I've been let on a couple times really badly. And like, I would write a nasty letter and just be like, you know, you're a terrible person, and I think what you did to me was wrong, and I'm not going to fucking have any more contact with you. Fuck off. Essentially.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, can you imagine turning around and trying to frame them for a fucking crime, dude?
No, because I don't want anything else to do with that person.
Right. Yeah. Fucking women, dude. I'm telling you what, man. You call, you know, you say men are violent, but man, women can be goddamn cruel, dude.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. The first girl I ever really liked dated my best friend behind my back for about a year, with neither of them telling me.
Oh,
while I pursued her and was like taking her out to places and paying for stuff and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, dude, that's fucked up. Yeah, that's fucking horrible.
That was my first real any sort of attempt at a relationship. So just kind of late bloomer. I didn't really get interested in girls until like high school.
Right. Oh yeah, no, me too. In fact,
my parents thought
I was interested.
They were like, it's okay.
Your parents thought what?
My parents thought I was gay.
No, my friends, apparently all my friends did too, man. But no, I was kind of the same. Like I didn't date anybody in high school, actually. Yeah, I didn't do it. I didn't even try. Yeah, even if people are interested, I was like, I was kind of scared of women. I think I mentioned this before. I was essentially scared of women.
Yeah, it was like the tail end of high school. Like I started being interested in her when I was a senior and she was a sophomore. And then I graduated and she was like a junior and I was still interested, but my friend was apparently dating her.
Yeah, that's fucked up on both of their ends.
Like junior year, and like both of them kept it from me for some reason.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I assume it was only for her benefit. I don't understand what your friend's benefit got out of it.
Man. I think they thought I would flip my shit, but if they had just told me,
I think the girl just wanted the benefits of what you were doing for her.
Could be.
I think the friend probably thought you were going to flip your shit, but I think the girl was more concerned with continuing to get the benefits.
My friend's mom's boyfriend told me, and he didn't realize I didn't know. And I was there picking up a couple of jack stands that were holding up a Chevy Custom 100 pickup with a utility bed that we had been loaning them. And I was so angry that I fucking picked the side of the truck up off the fucking jack stands.
Wow.
And my friend pull them out.
Yeah.
I did not want to spend the time with the jack because I just wanted to go.
Get the fuck out. Yeah, especially at that age,
I was very angry. Yeah. Well, at that time I was working in an auto shop, so I was lifting heavy shit all day, every day.
Right.
I was in really good shape.
Yeah.
It was a really dumb thing to do. But it was...
Still, I understand, especially at that age, to deal with something like that. Yeah. You know, that's fucking heavy, especially if it's, again, like you said, first attempt at, that kind of shit. Yeah, for me, I didn't have anything like that. Although
that's the shitty part.
Yeah,
it wasn't even the rejection that bothered me. Like I would have been fine with that.
No, it was lying and using you, right? I mean,
Yeah,
because that's like I said. I think your friend was doing it to spare your feelings and not let you flip out. I think she still just wanted the benefits of everything.
Both of them, so I don't really know what his thoughts were.
Right.
Because at that age, you're not willing to talk about it. You just look at it. And
you're done. Yeah. No, it's understandable.
I just was like, we're not going to hang out anymore.
Right. Yeah, we're done as friends. Yeah. Yeah, no, on mine, like the first girl I slept with, once I told her I didn't, which I had told her I didn't want a relationship before I slept with her, and she said she was okay with it, and they never are, by the way. Later on, when I was like
I kind of figured that part out. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but I really believe, I was still a virgin. I thought you could actually say something like, no, we could just have sex, right? I don't want a relationship. But after I made it clear that, like, no, really, I'm not going to date you. Like, she fucking ends up sleeping with my, a bunch of my friends and shit,
Oh, to like get back at you kind of thing?
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed.
Yeah. Although at the time, and you still can't be like, you can't let them know that it bothers you. Although it didn't really bother me, but it was still kind of like, you still can't say like, yeah, I'd rather you don't sleep with her. I'd rather you don't fuck her.
Oh yeah, no. It's just too
complicated. And it wasn't that many, and it wasn't that quickly. It was just, she immediately started dating somebody that I was a pretty decent friend with, and then after they didn't have him dating someone else, that was a friend of mine. So just kind of weird. Not the best first experiences with that kind of shit.
Oh yeah. Quality.
No wonder I avoid women for most of my life.
Although to be fair, I don't think I've ever had anybody actually cheat on me in a relationship. I've just had people lead me on. So
yeah,
I've had other people do similar shit. So
I'm fairly certain. I don't have like anything that would be proof in a court of law, but I'm fairly certain my ex cheated on me pretty regularly.
Oh, I'd be surprised if she didn't, from what you described.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky in that respect. That I think would be even worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I would have done if I actually caught her. You know what I mean? Or if I actually had 100% proof, because I could still bullshit myself, like, oh, maybe she didn't. Yeah, but,
Yeah. Oh, ridiculous. Yeah. Well, those kind of, that's when, like, crazy shit happens. Like, people just get.
Yeah. Although
a lot of emotional involvement, man.
Yeah. I still don't understand the going after the guy you don't know or the girl you don't know. Yeah, like, why aren't you, if you're going to be angry, like the person fucking your significant other doesn't know you, or generally doesn't know you or whatever. So why are you mad at them?
Yeah.
Why are you not mad at your significant other that's fucking cheating on you?
Yeah, I've always wondered.
It's never made sense to me.
I don't get that one.
Yeah. Although I'm kind of thinking, like, what? Okay, let's say I actually catch them in the act. I don't know. Would I kind of just be like, you know what? Fucking, she's all yours, buddy. Good luck, and fucking walk out, or what the fuck would I do?
Or would you go crazy and beat the shit out of both of them, or some shit?
Yeah. I like to think I'd do the former, but I doubt it.
There's still a real good chance you're going to be beating some people up.
Yeah. I think I would go would have completely done away with my never hit women thing.
Yeah, probably.
Got a couple times.
A lot of emotions flying.
Yeah.
Right and wrong, or just kind of.
Yeah, especially in that situation where. Yeah, especially when I never cheated at all, like not even close. And then her talking about how badly it hurt her for, her first husband and cheating on her, and how bad that hurt her, to turn around and actually do that to someone else. It's just fucking horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
But she was just a generally horrible person, so, I just realized it a little too late. And used a condom. I would have used a condom for the. I don't know if I've told this story here before, but it's kind of funny that the first time I used a condom was with my ex, and she actually ended up already being pregnant.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Because I hardly ever had sex. It was like at least, generally between the 6 month to a 2 year period between me having a sexual partner. And in fact, it had been 3 years before I hooked up with my ex. I hadn't touched a woman in 3 years. So I never had condoms because I hardly ever had sex. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So I never carried condoms because I didn't have sex that often. The average for me was about 1.5 years. That was usually about the average for me between sexual partners. So yeah, I just got lucky, I guess. Didn't knock anybody up in the meantime. But yeah, the first time I actually did, it turned out that she was already pregnant.
Oh, damn.
I thought that was pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, good timing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Could have avoided all kinds. Well, I can't. Again, you're eliminating my son. If I'd be like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. So I can't really say that. But that relationship would not have made it probably maybe 3 months if I hadn't knocked her up almost immediately.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Tops. Like at the most. Yeah.
It's not as easy once there's a kid to just break up and move on. It's like,
yeah,
I got to make this work because there's this whole other person that's involved now.
Yeah.
Screw that guy.
Yeah, it is what it is, I guess. I love that saying because it means absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It also isn't what it isn't. Yeah.
Funny.
But yeah, I mean, that's, like I said, it's something that I guess was supposed to happen or whatever. I like to tell myself that too. Yeah.
Hey,
instead of everything just being random, like, oh yeah, we were supposed to come together just to have this kid, and that was it. But, everything's just fucking a random mess, dude. That's probably the truth of it.
All right, let's see here if this works. I'm trying to plug my camera in, but I don't know if it's going to work or not. Oh, here we go. I don't know if you can tell, but this is something I made for the, because you were talking about condoms. This is something I made for the centerpiece.
Oh, okay. All right. Are those clips or are those like
pipe cleaners?
Okay, I got you. They almost look like little like fancy paper clips for a second.
They're like little pipe cleaner condom flowers.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I get it now. At first, the orange one kind of looked like Cheetos, dude, when you first flashed it on, dude.
Yeah, I had it too close. Here we go. Unplug that because
nice.
But yeah, I just thought that would be funny as fuck. It's like a little centerpiece.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good, man. Oh shit. When are you guys filming that? Do you know yet, or?
He had to go do some stuff in Southern California for a while. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Probably next week, maybe.
Yeah, right on, dude.
If not next week, I'll probably just do it myself, and he'll just, he'll be out because like there's a certain point in which it's like, look, if you're not willing to commit,
right? Yeah, or if you just can't do it, and just fucking say it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I got no problem.
You can always do both parts.
Well,
you can always do
reviewing it. I don't need a second part.
Right,
just reviewing the food. I don't need a second person to do that. I just think it'd be more interesting with two people.
Yeah, it'd be more entertaining. Although you could play two roles, though, if you really wanted to.
Oh, yeah, dress up as, like, different outfits and shit.
Yeah. You don't need Ingvar. Screw that guy.
The construction bib. So, one of the scenes in the video that we shot with this friend of mine a long time ago, I was being a construction worker, like an overseer. And they wanted me to put on this shirt, but they got it from some little dude. And like, I'm a big guy now, but I was in pretty good shape then, but I was still pretty big compared to most people.
Right.
And the shirt was never going to fit. And so as a joke, I stuck it in the front of my collar like a napkin, like a bib.
Oh, right.
And so then we shot the whole scene with me with this shirt stuffed in the front of my collar. Like, we called it the construction bib. It's just so ridiculous.
That's fucking awesome.
It's this nice button shirt just stuffed in mine. It was fairly entertaining. Apparently, when they showed the video project to the class, because it was on comparative religions or something, and so like I didn't really see the whole thing, but apparently it actually was talking about the relationship between two different like gods of some random pantheon. The entire class just laughed the whole time.
Nice.
So I was like, yeah, we did good.
All right. Yeah, I wish I would have done shit like that when I was younger, man. Because I had a group of friends that were pretty goddamn funny. And we would sit around and just bullshit and crack each other up, like, fucking for hours. And I kind of always thought about that. I'm like, what if we we should have, like, filmed that shit? Like, I guarantee you people would think it's hilarious. You know? Although it is possible that we were just all incredibly stoned and it wasn't all that funny.
There is that.
But I like to think we're fucking hilarious. But yeah. And then I always wanted to film shit, like do little fucking sketches and shit, but I never did it.
No time like the present, man. Get a camera, make your kid to it.
Yeah, that's true, man. I mean, even a fucking even a shitty smartphone nowadays has a decent camera on it.
Yeah, oh yeah. You can even, like, some of the iPhones apparently you can even edit on.
Yeah, most of the smartphones, yeah. They have video editing software right on them.
Yeah, I mean, that's phenomenal that you can actually edit video on, like, a handheld device. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think it was Patton Oswalt pointed out. He's like, you see this, the fucking iPhone? It's like, this has more video editing software than George Lucas had when he filmed Star Wars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And access to, like, all of the knowledge, the collective knowledge of humanity.
Right. Yeah. I try to explain how amazing that is to my son, and he just doesn't get it. Like, okay, I mean, he kind of does, but I tried to explain to him, like, if I wanted to learn something, I had to, like, go to first off, go to the library, and then second off, try to figure out where in the fucking Dewey Decimal System that shit was about my, what I was looking for.
Oh yeah.
And then fucking search it from there. Instead of just typing it into fucking Google and having 10,000 results spit out immediately at you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's so much different.
Yeah.
Lazy
and
bastards.
The porn. Holy shit, the porn you have access to nowadays. These kids are really lucky.
I'm telling you, man, some of it's way more aggressive than shit you would ever have found when I was a kid.
Right. Although maybe it's not. It's actually...
I don't think I ever saw anything even close to face fucking when I was a teenager. Like, that's...
Yeah, it was very tame fucking shit you had access to. Yeah.
You kind of have to be an adult and go to, like, the BDSM clubs to see that kind of stuff. Like, now you just type in search.
Like, you had to be really into some shit or fucking... Yeah. Although I've heard that the preponderance or prevalence of porn is actually kind of fucking with relationships, because guys are like, there's so much good porn, I don't really need a fucking chick. I don't really need to actually fuck somebody.
Well, see, there's reverse engineering that logic, though. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that there's so much porn. It's so much porn is available because so many men are deciding, I'd rather just use porn because relationships are just too scary.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I can see that as well. Yeah, because that's true. Because masturbating, no matter how good you are at it, it's not the same as pussy, dude.
No.
Yeah. And although I was going to ask you about, because I've never used any kind of fleshlight or anything like that. Does it really simulate a vag that well? Any of that shit?
It's better than your hand by a substantial amount, but it's certainly not like getting laid.
It's still not simulating pussy properly, right?
No.
Yeah. I think that's what I was trying to explain to Base Mama. And she's like, why do you guys put up with this shit? Like, it's pussy. Like, you women have literally 100% of the pussies.
Yeah.
You have a monopoly on them.
Although, I have that thing now with the fleshlight where you just sit back and, like, the fleshlight there's a little motor that does it for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, wait till those start getting hacked and the sex bots get hacked. Have you heard about that? The whole hacking sex bot bullshit?
Oh, were they trying to like women are mad because then suddenly they're not as fucking irreplaceable as they thought?
Yeah, well, no, they're saying like they're already talking about sex bots getting hacked being a problem before sex bots are even really a thing.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like, oh, they could end up strangling you and killing you and using knives and shit. You're like, really? I don't.
Bullshit. Oh, you know what? That sounds like the same bullshit about weed. Weed's gonna make you go crazy and kill yourself, man.
You'll constantly have cum stains on your pants from constantly jacking off.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like Reefer Madness or any of that fucking bullshit?
Oh, yeah. Your hands, you grow hands, hairy palms.
Yeah.
You get hairy palms. That sounds like fucking hairy palms, man.
Yeah, it's essentially the equivalent. It's women striking first, being like, "Oh shit!"
And let's be.
We're going to become insignificant. Our pussy is going to lose the value. The one thing that we consider valuable about ourselves is no longer going to have value.
Well, and let's be fair. The sex bots that get hacked are not going to get hacked to fucking kill you. They're just going to be dicks all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to be like banging the sex bot and it's be like, well, it's a tiny little dick. Is it in yet? Yeah, like it'll be just some dude's voice coming out because it's some teenager hacking your sex bot because he wants to fuck with you.
All right, you can start anytime.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's going to happen. It's not going to be, you know, he'll start making fun of you, telling jokes like knock knock. You know, like,
yeah, but they're literally thinking it's going to fucking.
Oh, go ahead.
Why would your sex robot have fucking blades or a fucking knife or a wrench? Why would your sex robot have that?
That would be a really good question. Like, what kind of weird shit are you into, lady?
Yeah, exactly. Like, unless you're into knives or whatever, fuck, you know, your sex robot's not going to have that shit. But they're still fucking touting that as.
More importantly,
here's the problem with sex robots.
Why would your sex robot have an open Wi-Fi connection to the internet? Why would
that makes very little sense.
I would think you would make it so that you have to plug in.
Yeah. I would prefer it to have no connection at all. But yeah. Like, okay, it needs a software upgrade. I'll plug it in for that. But that is fucking it. Then it's back offline and just me fucking the shit out of it. Morty.
Oh man, I think there's a lot of dudes out there that would absolutely get a sex robot. I think that would be hugely popular.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I would consider it, dude. Probably not. I'd rather have something like a fleshlight that actually felt like a pussy. But I don't know. I might if it actually moves around and fucking says shit to encourage me and pretend I'm the fucking greatest lover ever. That's tempting. That sounds that sounds like a good thing.
That sounds pretty good. But like, I'm just thinking cloning technology. You could get like a legitimate pussy, like, in fleshlight form. You just have to like occasionally feed it sugar water, and you keep it in a tank.
Yeah, that would not be that bad, right? Let the pussy swim around for a while, feed it little fish flakes.
Yeah, exactly.
and grab it and fuck it occasionally, and
just like see how long
it
starts trying to get away every time you grab it.
Right? Like, oh fuck, I know what's happening.
Man, it's just sorry.
Yeah, we're pretty fucking twisted. Yeah, nobody, come on, who's making it this long into the video? There might be people that watch the beginning, but we're 3 hours in.
Chat, and I'm watching chat. Some other poor bastard is still there. I would assume William Stencheffer.
Is Stencheffer still here? Oh, shit. He's not really listening.
Or somebody like with the police or FBI.
Right. Like these guys, that might seem harmless, but these guys have to be on the list somewhere.
Yeah.
Some kind of list somewhere.
Oh, I hope
fucking so. Weird. I would love to be that important that I had to be on some kind of watch list.
I think if you're not on a watch list, you're boring. It's William Stencheffer. He's still
there. Yeah. Sticking it out.
He's still there. We have been going for 3 hours. It's probably about time to shut her down.
Yeah, and plus, again, I don't think anybody was watching until about almost an hour and a half into.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's definitely dragging on here.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining the Chatterbox. I'm Skittles McStabby Pants, and we had Mr. Detroit.
I'm here.
And we'll see you guys on Sunday night, hopefully. Sunday night, 10:30 Pacific Standard.
Be there.